On a gorgeous day along the Chattahoochee River in Columbus, Georgia, the 81st Annual Morehouse Tuskegee Classic, Aspire TV presents the SIAC Game of the Week. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm James Verrett, along with former Troy defensive lineman and longtime SIAC commentator Eric Tabor. And Eric, this is a game in which both teams are looking to improve, even though one is already undefeated in Tuskegee, and they're led by their quarterback, Kevin Lacey.
Kevin Lacey is one of those guys that is a great athlete. He was an All-American in high school. He came to Troy. He came to Tuskegee for the simple fact he wanted to play quarterback. So that's why he's at Tuskegee, and that's why right now he's in a position in Tuskegee's 5-0.
Well, for Morehouse College, they're a team that their record is not indicative of their style of play and how they've played all season. They're 2-3, but they're also led by their quarterback, who sometimes this season he's also played running back in Monquavius Johnson.
Monquavius Johnson, again, one of these unbelievable athletes. He's also a great student athlete. His QB rating is at 160. Unbelievable. He is one of those guys that's going to lead a team to victory, and you're going to need this guy to have a great game today. Both
teams have offensives that are geared to explode at any given time. Make sure you stay tuned. When we come back, we'll have the kickoff for the 81st Annual Morehouse Tuskegee Classic right here on Aspire.
3, 2, 1. Fade it out. Hey, you there?
For just $9.
A.J. McClung Stadium right here in Columbus, Georgia. Historic stadium along the Chattahoochee River, a wonderful sports complex here for the city of Columbus. Tuskegee will receive, and it will be Morehouse who will kick off. James Verrett along with Eric Tabor. For 81 years, Tuskegee and Morehouse have traveled to the small hamlet along the Chattahoochee to play this game, one of the most consistent classics in all of black college football and all of football history when you think of a neutral site game. And Eric, it seems as though the crowd is primed for an entertaining game.
They really are. I'm excited. I'm always excited when I'm here in Columbus. They host several games and several classics for HBCU sports and athletics, and I am looking forward to this huge momentous matchup. These two teams don't like each other, but this is going to be a great game.
And that is Rich Freeman right there. And also you see the return team for Tuskegee. This is a team that is undefeated. They've already beat a nationally ranked Division II team in UNC Pembroke, in which they had to come from behind, down 16 points in the last 9 minutes of the ball game to win 21-16. And for Morehouse, they lost to their inner-city rival, Clark Atlanta, by a point, a game in which they gave up 22 or 21 points in the final few moments of the game.
This is one of the things that Tuskegee and Coach Slater preach: finish the game. You start strong, you finish strong. One of the key things that you talk about statistically is Tuskegee outscores their opponents in the first and fourth quarter. They've scored 49 points in the first quarter and over 50 points in the second.
Alexis Maganda to kick. And back deep, Ladario Petway, and that ball goes out of the back of the end zone, and they'll take the ball at the 25-yard line. For Tuskegee, they are led by their all-everything Kevin Lacey. He is a tall drink of water, stands at 6'6", 175 pounds, but this is an offense that is very, very balanced, has some young running backs that will lead the way for them, and they have a nice offensive line averaging around 300 pounds a game.
And you talk about the running backs. One of the guys, Kenny Gann, is healthy this game. I'm looking forward to seeing him run. His father, and just a little side story, actually is a Super Bowl champion defensive back for the Dallas Cowboys. He has 2 Super Bowl championship rings for him.
And you see Kevin Lacey right there in the background, and they are getting ready to play ball.
and 10, Tuskegee from the Golden Tiger 30.
And you see the quarterback, Kevin Lacey.
And he stands at 6'6", unbelievable talent. Great athlete, he can do it all.
First play from the game, and he goes down with the sack. The Maroon Tigers find Kevin Lacey right there, and also there's a lineman for Tuskegee who is also down. But it seems as though they want to blitz early and often. David Smith there on the sack for the Maroon Tigers, but there is a Golden Tiger for Tuskegee who is down.
And watch the replay here. He comes across right there unblocked, just shoot like he shot out of a cannon, makes the play on Lacey, puts him on the ground, and Morehouse is going to have to keep doing that to keep Lacey from lighting him up.
And it looks like it's Leeward Brown, the offensive lineman for Tuskegee, and it looks like they're working on his left leg. It was a complete all-out blitz. When we come back, we'll take it to break, and when we come back, we'll see if Tuskegee can bounce back from the first play of the game, which is a sack. SIAC Football right here on Aspire. And you see head coach Willie Slater for the Tuskegee Golden Tigers. He said that even with an undefeated record, he wants to see more from his offense. And right now they're bouncing back from a sack for the first offensive play of the game for Tuskegee. Out of the shotgun, Lacey goes, still getting some pressure, trying to find a receiver, and does. Reception made by Desmond Reese, and he is stopped, but not before he gets close to back into the original line of scrimmage area, about the 33-yard line.
And Lacey did a great job in this situation. He had a little bit of pressure. He stepped up in the pocket, found his open man, made the completion, and that's one thing he's worked on all summer, is working with his receivers. He came in and spent a lot of extra time one-on-one with receivers, running routes, throwing balls.
Looking at a 3rd and long, they really need to get out beyond the 40-yard line for a first. Looking for a receiver, catch is made, enough for the first down, out to midfield. Good catch by Javarius Chetman for Tuskegee.
And again, another great pitch and catch. And if we watch the replay here, you'll see Lacey's going to take the snap, looks, he finds his primary target, floats it over there, just over the outreach hands of the defender. Nice touch pass, good enough for another Tuskegee first down.
Javarius Cheatham, one of the taller receivers for Tuskegee this season. Trying to get the running game going, but nothing, having stopped by a sea of maroon jerseys and white helmets. And you see some pushing and shoving going on right there. There's no love lost between these two institutions. And the players are letting you know exactly, yes, chatter, chatter, chatter. A lot of talk there going between the two teams.
And Desmond Reese is just saying keep talking it up. But Tuskegee leads this series 70-28. But throw the records out of the window. These teams are going to give it everything they've got. They're going to leave it all on the field today.
Gant with a 1-yard gain makes it 2nd and 9. Trying an option play. It looks like the defense caught it early. Gant on a pitch that really almost went awry. And right there is the Morehouse Maroon Tiger defense. And looks like a little more exuberance there by the defender may have given Tuskegee some yards, and we got some pushing and shoving going on. As we told you, there is no love lost between these two teams. For Morehouse, they are desperate for a win, and for Tuskegee, they're trying to maintain their level of dominance.
And you're going to get probably double personal fouls. Another one on Tuskegee, number 70, Loyal Richardson, who gave a shove on the sideline. So that's going to really hurt Tuskegee there. This is going to be a double foul probably on both teams. Our
referees today getting some early action. Now, Eric, when you look at these two teams, it seems as though they're going in different directions because Morehouse is a team that, I think we may have the actual official call. Now we do have the Tuskegee coaches in the booth right next to us, and they are saying, "Are you kidding me?" Because it appeared that it was definitely a late push by Morehouse, but then it seems as though now they're saying because of the last person caught, first person charged, which was Tuskegee.
And that was one of those unfortunate things, when a lineman is very protective of his running backs and quarterbacks, and that's what happened in this situation on the sideline. You had one of the Tuskegee linemen step in there and said, "Get off my guy."
Second and forever. They need to get back into Morehouse territory to get close to a first down. Lacey looking to throw, trying to find a receiver. Pass almost intercepted. Right there on the play was William Robinson for Morehouse.
And if we watch the replay, we'll watch Lacey. He's scanning the field, sees where he wants to go to, but the ball just sailed on him a little bit. Almost an interception by William Robinson.
And he's 6'3", normally used as a backup quarterback, but they moved him over, young man out of Tacoma, Washington. They go from coast to coast, from the far reaches of the Northwest all the way down to Miami to find players. Looks like an obvious punting situation for Tuskegee. Doing the punting is a freshman, John Picaro. Back deep for Morehouse, a familiar name, Tamari Vanover. We'll get to that a little bit later. Picaro gets some good hang time, and it takes a Golden Tiger bounce, and it'll be marked dead inside the 20 at about the 16-yard line.
And Tamari Vanover, for those of you who are big-time football aficionado will remember his father, Merrick Vanover, from Florida State. Star wide receiver there, and he is here at Morehouse.
They have a number of sons of former NFL players that will be in action and on the rosters for today's game. But as you see, the quarterback, Monquavius Johnson, a senior, he would like to get his victory here, has not won in the Tuskegee Morehouse Classic since he's been on campus. And first play immediately, a wave of white shirts right there to lead the way. Huge play by Callie James to lead that huge defensive front. And yeah, he has a little extra right there in the front.
And on the handoff here, he just blew past his defender. Number 70 was just a speed bump on his way to making the tackle.
So far we've seen both defenses very aggressive on the first play and make the offenses work out of a hole. 2nd and 13. Johnson looking for a pass, finds one of the McGuffies, and he gets some positive yards out to about the 21-yard line.
The McGuffies.
Check that. That was Madell Ray. Madell Ray on there. And you see the
on the reception, ball marked up to 21.
third down and 6 yards to go for the first. Johnson, they're going to try to run it, though he pulls it back and pass, and that one was intended for Lake McGuffey, and it goes awry, threw it behind him a little bit, which means it'll be a punting situation for the Maroon Tigers. Seems as though the defense for Tuskegee held in that series.
They did it, and Johnson I think he kind of rushed that pass, and he didn't step into it, and it just caused him to go just a little bit behind his receiver, falling incomplete, bringing up a 4th down.
Alexis Magna to punt and back deep. Ladaro Petway for Tuskegee. Extra up back has to come in for the Maroon Tigers. Bobbles it, but does get it off, no pressure. Petway calls for a fair catch, gets it at about the 31-yard line. No score here after each team has had an opening series. The 81st Annual Tuskegee Morehouse Classic right here on Aspire. The SIAC Game of the Week will be right back after this break.
That's why you'll stay in this drawer forever.
Welcome back to the 81st Annual Tuskegee Morehouse Classic. No score here with 10:21 left in the first. Don't miss Aspire's new original web series, The Graduates NYC, during HBCU live games at halftime. And that'll be right on Aspire and also on aspire.tv. Ladero Petway right there on the carry. Gets some positive yards, about a 6-yard gain for second down and about 4. Kevin Lacey not only is the, as they say, lead administrator on the field for the Golden Tigers, but he is also one of their best rushers and passers.
Yeah, he has 175 on the QB efficiency scale, and he's passed for over 207 yards a game, and he's run for about 70 yards a game.
They're going to go with 4 wides. They're going to fake the handoff, find the receiver in Petway. Petway gets enough for the first down and more beyond midfield into Morehouse territory. And Ladero Petway is known as a return man, but he is a small guy but very elusive. And you see the offensive line for Tuskegee. They average a little bit over 300 pounds with Richardson, Shelton, Antoine Dorsey, and Brown. Also, you see the backs and receivers, Craig, Wilson, Reese, Bowens, and Cheatham. And he doesn't cheat out there on the wide receiver. He gets a lot of good positive plays for those Golden Tigers. Lacey trying to find some room because he's still getting pressure. Slammed to the ground right in front of the official. No call. And even Lacey's trying to say, hey, what happened?
But I think we've got a flag up around the 45-yard line. And usually that's around the area of pass interference or defensive holding.
And it looks like it'll be a second down and 10 for the Golden Tigers. Undefeated, ranked in the top 10 in certain Division II polls, top 15 in other Division II polls. This is a team that had their first playoff victory in school history last season. This year, they're looking for more. Out of the eye, they're going to give to Gant. Gant has some room to run on the outside, tries to stiff arm, but is brought down at about the 41-yard line, but then there's also a flag on the play.
Great run by Gant. He saw his lane, he exploded, he accelerated, then he issued the stiff arm, getting positive yards, but hold the phone, there's a flag on the field.
And now there's a holding call, and this is the problem last week against UNC Pembroke for Tuskegee. They had a lot of offensive miscues that put their defense in awkward situations, allowed Pembroke to get a 16-point lead. But after a while, especially in the last 8 minutes of the game, offensively, they caught fire, scored 21 points. Defense was lights out. They win the game. So let's see if they can try to get some offense going early for the Golden Tigers. Lacey getting some pressure on the backside, throws. It looks like an overthrow. Yes, huge overthrow into the stands here at A.J. McClung Stadium.
Good coverage by the Morehouse defense. What you want to do as a defensive back is force that receiver into that sideline and force him out of bounds. And as a receiver, you want to keep that defender from pushing you out of bounds. And that's what happened. Lacey was trying to just throw it over the top. The receiver just ran out of space.
Now a 3rd and long. They need to get inside the 40-yard line to about the 36 of Morehouse for a first. 4 wide receivers set, 3 on the far side and 1 on the near side. That one is Desmond Reese, their senior. Trying to flare, gets out to Kenny Gant. Gant with a nice step move there and gets inside the 45-yard line down to about the 43, but well short of the first down mark.
And as we go to replay, watch Lacey drop back. Gant slips out in the flats, makes the reception almost at a shoestring catch, makes a move, eludes 2 defenders, but can't get past the rest of that Morehouse secondary. Picks up positive yards, though. It's now 4th down.
Picaro back deep for Tuskegee. High snap over the head of Picaro. He will have to try to do something to get this ball off. He's going to run it and do the smart move, run out of bounds. Deep snapper really snapped it over his head.
And you watch the replay. He knew it was going to go over his head. He just needed to make a play. The best thing would have been just probably float it up and just throw it out of bounds. But he does what he can, does what he could, gets out of bounds, but it gives Morehouse a golden opportunity to punch one in and take an early lead.
Special teams is something that Willie Slater was really happy about going into this game. He thought that his special teams was playing probably the best out of all of the facets of his team, but that is something that's uncharacteristic of the Golden Tigers. Now perfect opportunity, as you said, for Morehouse to try to take advantage. And right now, Monquavius Johnson is really saying that he can't hear because you can hear the band for Tuskegee still playing right in front of him. They're over on the far side in the end zone. Johnson with plenty of time. Now he's scrambling and throws it out of bounds. Could not find a receiver open. Good defense by the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee.
And if I were a coach, I would call that a great coverage sack. Even though it was not an official sack, everybody downfield was covered. Johnson had nowhere to go with the football. He could not scramble out of the pocket and make a play. Outstanding job by that Tuskegee Golden Tiger defense.
And he's letting it be known to the head referee that the band for Tuskegee is playing, and they are directly in front of him on the far side to the left, far left of the field. And it's really giving him problems making the calls. Johnson with a nice throw, but a slip by number 8, Mandel Ray.
And again, outstanding coverage by the Tuskegee Golden Tigers. I have to give them credit where credit is due. Johnson trying to look downfield, has nowhere to go with the football. He's just tried to force it into some tight coverage. Outstanding job once again by that Tigers defense.
Now they're 2 downs away from letting a perfect opportunity, a special teams faux pas by Tuskegee get away if they can't get a first down to keep this drive alive. Johnson still with plenty of time finds a receiver, gets inside the 20-yard line. Good reception there by Ryan Edwards, and he is the tight end that normally a lot of people had high hopes for, but he has had some injury issues, but he came in and did a good job there.
And watch Ryan Edwards. He slips out in the flat, wide open, tries to make a move, almost gets away from that Tuskegee linebacker, and that was Khalil Gray. But it wasn't enough for the first down, and now Tuskegee's going to try, Morehouse is going to try a field goal to take an early 3-0 lead.
Alexis Gonzalez, the junior out of Concord, North Carolina. And it's blocked. Blocked by Tuskegee. Loose ball. They're trying to return it. And the Golden Tiger defense stonewalls Morehouse on a blocked field goal. Great job by the special teams for the Golden Tigers.
And watch the replay. The snap was a little bit low, and I don't know if that affected the timing of the kick, but the trajectory of the snap was low. The holder could not place it down properly, and the kicker couldn't get a proper set on it. A low kick blocked by the Tuskegee defense. 1st and 10, Golden Tigers.
Terrence Leatherwood with the recovery of the blocked field goal. Young man out of Northport, Alabama, right there at Tuscaloosa County High School. Special teams stepping up big for Tuskegee.
When we talked about that miscue on the punt, the special team steps in and saves the day.
Give to Kenny Gann. He gets to the line of scrimmage and goes nowhere fast. Maroon Tigers everywhere to block his way.
And that defense really clamped down. It looks like they're going to sell out to stop this Tuskegee inside rush.
Joshua Burton right there leading the way for the defense for Morehouse. Now, Eric, when you look at Kevin Lacey, how can he really ignite this offense? Because they've really been sputtering so far to start games this season.
Well, usually, and a lot of players, especially true athletes.
Lacey getting some pressure on the backside for the second time in this game. He goes down with the second celebration right there for Morehouse. Good play there by Forrest Bryant, the young man out of Gray, Georgia, Mount DeSales Academy.
And it looked like he just eluded his offensive lineman. He made a play. He steps inside. They had a blitz coming on the outside. That offensive lineman decided to take the outside guy, thinking that one of the backs was going to step up and fill the void and take him on the block. He comes free, unblocked, makes a sack, loss of yards, and he goes into the record books for another sack.
2 sacks so far for one of the highest touted quarterbacks that you've seen come through Tuskegee. They have to protect him. This time he throws the ball and it goes out of bounds. And you have a very fired up defense for Morehouse, and you've got an offense for Tuskegee that's searching for answers because it appears that they've unlocked the code to try to get through that vaunted offensive line for the Golden Tigers.
And what I'm seeing coverage-wise that the Maroon Tigers are doing is you saw one of the officials throw his hat, which meant the receiver stepped out of bounds, so he couldn't come back in and catch it. It's what the defenders are using. They're using the sideline as another defender, and they're bumping those receivers out of bounds, not giving them a lot of opportunities to make a play.
No high stamp for John Picaro. He gets the punt off, and it goes into Morehouse territory out at about the 46-yard line. When we come back, we'll see if a team can get on the scoreboard. 81st Annual Tuskegee Morehouse Classic right here on Inspire.
My just fab
Destination Montgomery. Every week counts. Only one winner will emerge out of the Eastern Division champion meets the Western Division champ in the SIAC Football Championship on Saturday, November 12th at the Crampton Bowl in Montgomery. Kickoff is set for 6 p.m. Central Time. Be there and get your tickets at thesiactickets.com. The SIAC, we play hard. And so far in the 81st Annual Tuskegee Morehouse Classic, both defenses have been playing extremely hard. James Verrett along with Eric Tabor. Another series offensively for the Maroon Tigers. Throw and catch made enough for a first down for the Maroon Tigers. Catch made by Mandel Ray.
And it looks like the officials are going to say it was incomplete. And we'll go to the replay and take a look at, and you be the judge. It looked like he might have had it for a second, but it comes out, pass is incomplete.
Good job by Jonah McCutcheon right there on the defense to knock that ball away as they were rolling on the ground. 2nd down and 10 for the Maroon Tigers. Trying to run the football, goes nowhere fast as Bryson Terry, one of the reserve running backs. They're trying to establish the run game. When Morehouse won the SIAC championship a few years ago and went to the playoffs, they had a very strong running game. And right now they're looking for Terry along with Malik Johnson and other players to step in and try to establish that running game that's crucial to get this offense going.
And I remember those days very well. Rich Freeman likes a hard-nosed interior line. He likes that inside run game that we like to call it. But we're not seeing it right here today so far.
Second down, make that third down and long. Almost a nice throw and catch, but this one goes awry, intended for his tight end, Ryan Edwards. But this one is a little bit too high for the young man coming back off of injury, a preseason All-SIAC selection at tight end.
And you watch the replay, Johnson finds him, he's open, he has the opportunity to make the catch, but I think he started looking downfield before he pulled it down. And had he looked that ball in before he made his move upfield, he would have possibly been off to the races.
Alexis Maganda to do the punting for the Maroon Tigers. Petway back deep for Tuskegee. Not a lot of pressure. A line drive kick to Petway, and he uses his elusiveness to elude one tackler, but he is eventually brought down inside the 15 at about the 13-yard line.
Outstanding coverage, special teams coverage by the Maroon Tigers. They were able to get downfield, even though it was a line drive. It was one of those returnable punts, but they made sure there was no real return on that, as we see Lacey stepping back out for the Golden Tigers.
It took 3.5 quarters to get Lacey, and he actually had to sit on the bench for a little while last week against UNC Pembroke. But once he got it started, they were able to rattle off 21 points to walk away with a 21-16 victory over the nationally ranked Braves of Pembroke. Lacey on the easy give, trying to establish a run game, able to get some positive yards. Rush there by Brandon Wilson. A seldom used fullback, normally as a blocker. Stands at 5'10", 235 pounds, but he's a senior. He has done some damage in these games before, scoring a touchdown last year.
And I think what Coach Slater, he's also the offensive coordinator for the Golden Tigers. He likes to try to slip that fullback in there from time to time, and defenses don't normally account for it, but this time the Maroon Tigers were.
This time Lacey on a keeper, has some room to run, has some open room beyond the 30, enough for the first down, out of bounds at about the 36-yard line. That's what makes him one of the most dangerous players in all of Division II football. Standing at 6'6", he has a very long stride, and he can run the football very well.
And he ran the option here, and one of the things about the option we talk about is defense has got to be disciplined to commit. And Lacey made the read, he made the proper read, he pulled it back in, turned it upfield, cut underneath the containment, got what he could, first down, Golden Tigers.
For those who are fans of the team out of Tuskegee, Alabama, they are hoping that can ignite this offense as we stand scoreless in the waning moments of the first quarter. And now that pass goes awry, intended for Desmond Reese, his wide receiver.
And we talk about Coach Slater and his pedigree. He's won national championships as an offensive coordinator at Troy State. He's won national championships in North Alabama, and he wants to do the same thing here at Tuskegee. He was an All-American quarterback when he was in college, so he's very demanding of his quarterbacks, and that's one of the things you see when he gets on to Kevin Lacey.
Lacey once again on the pass, this time a nice bullet pass. Reception made by Javaris Cheatham. Why do I always cheat on Cheatham?
I don't know.
I'm cheating on Cheatham. Javaris Cheatham with a nice reception.
I don't know. Maybe we should say that 3 times real fast.
Cheatham.
As Cheatham makes the reception, he acts as a shield in between the defender and the ball, makes the reception, holds on, gets positive yards. First down, Tigers.
See, I want to say cheat them, but it's just Cheatham. But he doesn't cheat.
He does not.
There you go. Lacey. And this time, for the third time in the quarter, he is brought down again with another sack. Good play there once again by David Smith and company, along with Lynn Parrish. It seemed as though those linebackers are very active, finding a way to get to Lacey.
And that's what Rich Freeman, who is a defensive-minded head coach, wants to do. He wants his defense to get after Lacey. It was a sort of a delayed blitz. You saw the linebacker come late. They got pressure on him. Lacey steps up. The linebacker comes on a blitz and closes the door, bring up a second down.
Uncharacteristic of this Tuskegee squad to give up that many sacks so far here in the opening quarter of play. Trying to run a little option, gets to Gant. Gant has some room to run, gets beyond the line of scrimmage, and may have stepped out a little early. They will call him out of bounds at the 42-yard line, maybe 3 yards short of the first.
And we watched the replay. Lacey comes down the line, pitches out to Gant. Gant makes a move, steps upfield, gets what he can. That's what the option is designed to do. Just get positive yards. The first quarter, you want to get about 2 or 3 yards a carry. Second quarter, you start exploding 5 to 7. And then for a defense, the wheels come off third and fourth quarter, and that's what the option, you try to do with the option.
Morehouse anticipating run brings in big Robert Davis there at the defensive tackle position. Third down and short. Once again, the option keeper by Lacey. This time he is brought down. Good play by interior defense by Morehouse in order to get the tackle. Number 42, Berdre Conway right there on the tackle.
And Conway is one of those interesting guys. He's kind of a hybrid, I'd like to say. He's defensive end, 6'4", 250 pounds, which is sort of big for a defensive end from Division II.
And we end the first quarter of the 81st Annual Tuskegee Morehouse Classic. We've seen a number of sacks, some special teams faux pas, but so far no score right here on Aspire.
Celebrate National Booty.
See the marching band from Tuskegee trying to rally the troops as we start the second quarter. James Verrett along with Eric Tabor. Lacey and company for the Golden Tigers unable to get anywhere close to the end zone. Stopped by the vaunted defense of Morehouse. We start the second quarter, and we'll see if Lacey and company can get things started. Jerry Craig in the backfield along with Brandon Wilson. Give to Wilson, the fullback, and he squeezes his way close to the first down. He may be short by half a yard. We'll see what the official is on 4th and short.
David Smith stepped in and made a tremendous play to prevent that first down. And you watch the replay here. David Smith steps up, says, "No, sir, nothing doing. You're not going to get a first down today."
Great job by the defense of the Maroon Tigers. They've really kept Morehouse in this game by making some great plays. David Smith, one of those defensive leaders. Now it's time for the offense for Morehouse to try to step it up. They've already had one field goal blocked, and now let's see if they can get some things going. Monquavius Johnson trying to get his first victory in this storied classic. And goes somewhere fast. Nice carry there to open up the second quarter offensively for Morehouse.
And he gives to Parker, but there was just a little hesitation on the exchange there. Usually you want to make a decision, and it looked like Johnson really wasn't sure whether or not to give the football to Parker or to pull it out and turn it up to the outside.
Give again to Keenan Parker, but this time he is stopped immediately by a number of Tuskegee defenders. Leading the way, Kedrick Blue. And Keenan Parker, one of those fabulous freshmen for Morehouse, trying to ignite this offense. Johnson getting some pressure, and he goes down. Huge play from the defense of Tuskegee, coming from the weak side, number 5, Osmond Thompson, coming from that linebacker position along with Quavon Taylor.
And you watch the replay, unbelievable push by that defensive line caused this play.
Quavon Taylor, one of the highly touted linebackers for the Golden Tigers, and now a punting situation for Morehouse.
You'll notice a couple of things, and one of them is that there are a lot of duplicate numbers for Tuskegee, and we'll talk about maybe the significance of that a little bit later on in the broadcast.
Low line drive kick, and this one goes out of bounds. Depending on the spot, may have gotten inside the 25-yard line, and they will mark it at the 25. Second quarter, 12:52 left to play. No score between Tuskegee and Morehouse. 81 years played right here in the great city of Columbus, Georgia. We'll be right back. SIAC Football on Aspire. Tuskegee and Morehouse, no score with 12:52 left to play in the second. Don't miss Aspire's new original web series, The Graduate NYC, during HBCU live games at halftime and at aspire.tv on the web. Should be a very interesting reality show about some young HBCU graduates trying to make their way through the great metropolis of New York.
I'm looking forward to that.
First and 10 for the Golden Tigers. They give it to Jajarian Craig, and he is tripped up. Good defensive play by Morehouse. Leading the way, number 92. He is a run stopper in Robert Davis. He is a tree stump, so to speak.
Yeah, only 5'10", but he's 300 pounds. So he is a load, and believe it or not, I think they said his nickname was Stump.
Okay. They just took the tree out. Okay. That's okay. Stump can be a good thing.
Yes.
Especially when you're playing defensive line,
yes,
and you're trying to stop the run. All right, second down and 10. Lacey on the option. And he keeps it and pays the price for it. He will go down for a loss. David Smith once again there on the tackle. It seems as though David Smith is scouting out Lacey. Wherever he goes, he's right there.
The thing I'm seeing in Morehouse is playing very disciplined defense. To stop that option, you have to be disciplined. Each person is responsible for a player. You've got to take the pitch man. You had the pitch man covered over, so Lacey could do nothing but try to turn it up and get the positive yards he could. David Smith right there to clean things up.
Third and long for the Golden Tigers. Lacey with plenty of time and a high throw, incomplete. And now a flag is thrown. Looks like a little bit extra push there by the linebacker for Morehouse and Terrence Mitchell, and he may have helped Tuskegee move forward and get an easy first down.
Well, I think they're discussing whether or not that ball was catchable. But we'll wait for the officials to make the call.
Bad play by Terrence Mitchell. Years ago, that play may have not been called, but because of player safety, he gives Tuskegee new life.
So Tuskegee picks up a first down off of a penalty. And let's just, for Morehouse's sake, let's just hope that this doesn't come back to haunt them.
We're waiting for Kevin Lacey to, as they say, explode. He is one of the most explosive offensive players in all of Division II football, but so far he has been well contained. 3 first-half sacks by the Maroon Tiger defense. Give to Craig. Craig eludes one tackler, a second, but is brought down at the line of scrimmage. It seems as though a good push by the Maroon Tiger defense is making all of the runs get strung out to the outside.
And once again, that's what it's designed to do. If you watch the replay here, that defensive line stymied the Tuskegee offensive line, forcing them to go lateral, and that's what you want so your guys can go ahead and close in, make a play, and force a 2nd and long.
Trying to make sure they get their play together. Trying to make an audible on the line, running out of time. 3 seconds on the play clock. Have to hurry. They get it off in time. Another option, reverse to Reese. Reese eludes one tackler and another. Nice spin move. He gets beyond midfield, down to about the 41-yard line. Desmond Reese for the Golden Tigers, igniting the offense of Tuskegee.
And what we saw here was that over pursuit on defense for Morehouse. And you watch the replay coming up here, you see this defense, everybody commits to the option. They bring Reese back to the backside. No one's there. He makes a spin move, picks up positive yards. And if I can quote a ludicrous song, move, get out of the way, he almost takes this one to the house.
And he had some nice moves to get out of the way of the defenders, enough to catapult Tuskegee to a first down inside Morehouse territory. Maximum protection for Lacey. He's throwing long and incomplete. Flags are thrown. Obviously a push by the defensive back.
And one thing that they teach defensive backs now is if you're beat, rather than give up the touchdown or the big play, go ahead and commit the pass interference, prevent the reception.
Pass intended for Leo Gilbert.
And you prevent that the reception, prevent the touchdown, just take a 15-yard penalty, you live to fight another day. Okay, if we watch the replay, you'll see the push right there. He grabs at the arm, pushes him, making sure he doesn't make the reception because he was beaten on the play. But that's what they teach now defensive backs to do in football. Just give up the 15 yards rather than the touchdown.
Smart play by the Morehouse defense, because if it was in another league, a professional league, that would have been 1st and goal from the 1. Mm-hmm. But now it looks as though it's something that they can defend a little better. Mm-hmm. 15 yards makes it 1st and 10 inside the 30 at about the 26. Lacey fumbles the snap a little bit, gives to his fullback, and able to get some positive yards. Carried by Jerome Lewis, one of the senior leaders for this team, young man from Decatur, Georgia.
He's a transfer from Charlton State. He's a load to bring down. They primarily use him to block. But in this situation, once again, Coach Slater every now and again likes to give the fullback an opportunity to run the football.
Gives it to him again, has a hole, and gets some more positive yards. Jerome Lewis. Now Jerome, he doesn't carry the mirror anymore. He just goes forward and gets first down.
I don't know. Maybe we should get Jesse in the game.
No, I don't know. The time is, I don't think they've toured in a while, but there is a Jerome that's ready and available to push forward at any given time. 2nd consecutive run by Jerome Lewis, the young man out of Decatur, where it's greater.
Yes.
For another first down for the Golden Tigers. They're in the red zone now. Ball at the 16-yard line. No score of the 81st Annual Tuskegee Morehouse Classic right here on Aspire. Lacey looking to throw, has some time, looking for a receiver. Is it a catch? They call it a catch. Touchdown, Golden Tigers. Tight end Leo Gilbert with the score.
Miami, Florida native, strong enough to hold on to the football. Watch the replay as he slips out in his tight end position, goes upfield, makes a play, gets to the goal line, steps inside. Lacey puts the ball only where Gilbert can get it. Gilbert makes the reception. Give the Tuskegee Golden Tigers 6.
Kick by Dalton Hall. Vaccaro is the holder. Kick is up. And it is good. 8:10 left to go in the second quarter, and Kevin Lacey and Leo Gilbert connect as we have broken a scoreless tie with the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee using the pass in order to find their way on the scoreboard. 7-0 is your score right here on Aspire, the SIAC Game of the Week. 7-0 is your score. Tuskegee taking the second quarter lead. Destination Montgomery, every week counts. Only one winner will emerge as the East Division champion meets the West Division champion in the SIAC Football Championship on Saturday, November 12th at the Crampton Bowl in Montgomery, Alabama. Kickoff is set for 6 p.m. Central. Be there. Get your tickets at the SIACtickets.com. The SIAC, we play hard. Dalton Hall will do the kickoff duties for the Golden Tigers. Vanover deep. And taken out of bounds at about the 21-yard line. And on that return, number 8, Reese Knuckles for Morehouse. And that's most likely one of the most original names they've had in Morehouse history, Reese Knuckles.
That's really an interesting name. I would love to know how his parents came upon that one.
Well, Knuckles is his last name. You can't help that one. But Reese,
yes,
looks like something out of Boardwalk Empire, Empire, one of those early 1920s, 30s mob shows, something like that. But it's a great name, great football name.
Yes.
All right, and let's see if Monquavius Johnson can get a football name for himself here in the second quarter and help his team get on the scoreboard. Johnson with plenty of time, throws, looking for a receiver, almost intercepted the ball, and he slams the ball to the ground, and they do not call anything. And finally, late flags. I think they realized, we do have to call that. And just a little bit more emotion there by Eugene Leach, the defensive back for Tuskegee. He wanted that one. He had him in his hands, and he let it slip away.
And Coach Slater is not going to be happy about that as we're waiting on the call from the officials. Watch the replay. Johnson, play action, drops back, throws. He's hit as he throws, so he couldn't quite get everything he wanted to on the ball. And just missing out on an early Christmas gift.
Eugene, all he had to do was sell it. It looked like he got the interception. But when he slammed the ball down, he sold it the wrong way. 1st and 10 because of the unsportsmanlike play by Mr. Leach. They move the ball forward. Running play by Morehouse, and they get it a little bit more. Great positive play there by Morehouse on the carry, number 25, Jerome Lewis. No, check that. For Morehouse, that is Isaiah Hicks.
And he's just 5'10", 185 pounds from Norcross, Georgia. A very good student athlete. I like to talk about student athletes who are very good in the classroom, and he is a very good academic student.
Pass tipped and incomplete.
And Johnson just a little high with his throw. He looked like he was rolling out. He was trying to decide, should I tuck this and run or should I try to throw it in there? And that little bit of indecision caused the ball to sail on him just a little bit.
Trying to stay in the no huddle as they do most games of the Maroon Tigers. Really doesn't faze Tuskegee at all. Johnson. And he slings this one high. Pass intended for Medell Ray.
And defending for the Tuskegee Golden Tigers was number 26, Jonah McCutcheon.
Johnson right now has not had a consistent passing game right here for a little bit into a quarter and a half of play.
Once again, Johnson, a tremendous athlete. I love watching him play this game.
Getting some pressure, and he goes down sack by the Golden Tigers.
And that was one of those coverage sacks. Once again, there was nowhere to go with the football, and he had very little time. We watched the replay. The defensive ends do a great job of collapsing, forcing him back up in the center where that interior defensive line is. They come in, clean up, get a sack, time to celebrate. Let's get off the field. It's 4th down. Our offense is going to get the football once again.
Twan Adams on the sack for Tuskegee, a punting situation for the Maroon Tigers. Gets a little hang time, and so the ball was touched. The ball was touched. Not sure if it was a Tuskegee player who touched it, but the ball was touched. It should be Morehouse ball if a Tuskegee player touched it.
And I'm looking at Coach Freeman wanting an explanation of what's going on as we're going to get the official call from the head referee.
And right now they're having a conversation to see who touched the football. Late hit by Tuskegee. They hold on to the ball, but they move back 15 yards, and Rich Freeman would have loved to have the ball back deep into Tuskegee territory. When we come back, we see if his defense can hold as the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee have a 7-0 lead right here on Aspire.
From this new...
While parts of the country may be experiencing fall-like weather, here in Columbus, Georgia, it's still snowball weather here at A.J. McClung Stadium. You see some fans fanning themselves. The high temperature today may tiptoe into the low 90s. Humidity a little low, and you see Kevin Lacey right there trying to ignite this offense. It has taken them a quarter and a half to get on the scoreboard with a nice short pass over to his tight end, Gilbert. But now let's see if he can really get things rolling here for one of the top-ranked Division II teams in the country. Lacey with time, throwing long, trying to find a receiver, bumped, and looks like that was an uncatchable ball. Pass intended for Javaris Cheatham.
It was one of those things, I want to say close but no cigar. Lacey saw his receiver break. He saw Morehouse in a cover 2 shell. He decided to go for that corner route, lay it out there. Hopefully his receiver can get there, make the catch, make a play, but it was just a little bit too tall. 2nd down and 10 for the Golden Tigers. Kevin Lacey, again, one of these guys, I love to see him play. You love his athletic ability, but Morehouse has done a great job in bottling him up so far in this contest.
Nice pullback and running the option, and is knocked out of bounds before they can get any significant positive yards. May have gained 1 or 2. Brandon Wilson on the carry. He really switches between the fullback and the running back position. He can do both. They use him as both, and it seems as though they get positive results as long as he's in the game.
And Coach Slater was real high on him earlier this season when I talked with him. He said he had really been impressed with what he had done in practice and what he had done in a couple of game situations. A couple of weeks ago, just across the river in Phoenix City when Albany State and this Tuskegee team played, he was really impressed with what he did in that ball game, and that has really won him some extra touches to that football.
And looks like they called a timeout before they were flagged for a delay of game. They want to try to make sure they convert this 3rd down. Conversion of 3rd downs have been a problem so far in this game for the Golden Tigers, but Kevin Lacey is trying to get things going. Now, they were able to get on the board, and let's take a look at that scoring drive.
Watch, first off, you give it to the running back. He makes a move, steps outside, just keeps grinding, getting positive yards. Lacey again on the option here. It's a reverse. Turns it upfield, makes moves, gets downfield. He says, nobody can stop me, but he gets stopped short of the touchdown. And then right here, the give to the fullback, that inside run game that Tuskegee likes. Then Lacey finds his tight end right there across the goal line to get pay dirt. That leads us to where we are now, Tuskegee leading 7-0.
It looks like once they get into a rhythm, Lacey is more effective as a play caller. Third down. Lacey, nice pitch and catch, and looks like they got enough for the first down. Jeff Bowens on the reception.
And Jeff Bowens, a transfer from Mercer University. Watch the replay here. Lacey spies him all the way, gets it out to him. He couldn't quite keep his balance. If he would have kept his balance, he could have made another football move and got a lot more in the way of yardage.
First reception of the day for Jeff Bowens. He plays that wide position for the Golden Tiger offense. They are in Morehouse territory. They've been there early and often in this game, but only been able to produce 7 points. Given to their fullback. Fumble on the play. Ball is loose. And looks like Tuskegee had someone who was Johnny on the spot. Kenny Gant right there, Johnny on the spot for the fumble recovery.
And we talk about Kenny Gant. He's got that football pedigree. He came from his father. Watch the replay here as they're going to give it to the back out of the backfield. Kenny Gant sees the ball, jumps on it, says, okay, I've saved this drive, second down. Let's try to go ahead and put this into the end zone and get us a 2-touchdown lead.
Still getting positive yards, second down and 6 yards to go. Wilson was the last back on that carry. You hate to see a senior fumble the ball like that.
Mm-hmm. You really do.
Lacey with time, throwing long and a little bit too long, incomplete, pass intended for Bowens.
And Bowens caught that Morehouse defense. This was a well-designed route. He split the seams in the zone, ran right past both defenders. If Lacey could have just taken put a little less air under it, that would have been 6 for the Maroon Tigers.
Talking to Coach Slater earlier this week, he says he's still trying to crack the code on to get Kevin Lacey to hit that next level. Highly touted out of high school, chose to come to Tuskegee because it was one of the few schools that would allow him to play quarterback immediately. He has made a tremendous impact on this team. Another carry inside. Kenny Gant on the carry. And once again, Morehouse is there to stymie them to bring up a fourth down situation.
And we talk about Lacey. I enjoy seeing him the way he plays the game. He's really carefree if you watch him. The only thing you have to try to figure out, and you talk about Coach Slater cracking the code. Coach Slater is a master at getting players to produce.
Low snap, but able to get it off, and he kicks it out of bounds depending on where they spot the ball, and they'll say that it went into the end zone for a touchback.
And that's a tough break for the Tigers of Tuskegee. They were hoping to get this ball inside the 1 yard line and perhaps pin them back and get a safety or possibly even a strip sack, fumble, and a touchdown.
So if you're Morehouse right now, what are you trying to do to ignite this offense, Eric?
You just want to try to sustain a positive drive. You want to keep moving the football, get some first downs, get 2 or 3 first downs in this series, keep moving the ball down the field, get some positive plays, get some things to build on because it's only 7-0, 3:37 to go in the half. Still got plenty of time. You're well in this ballgame.
Johnson still at quarterback for Morehouse. High snap, he's able to corral it, throw, and catch, but gets back to the line of scrimmage. Not a lot of positive yards there. Reception made by Amir Smith.
And Amir Smith is a name we have not said very much of today. He was one of the conference leaders last year. He set all kinds of Morehouse records this season. If you look back at it, he is one of those guys. He's returning back to form. He was out for the first 3 games of the season with an injury, and he holds all kinds.
And a sack by Tuskegee, and a flag is thrown. Another sack by the Golden Tigers. Great play there by Quavon Taylor and company. That linebacking core is stellar. Well, obviously they were bringing the house, and Quavon Taylor and company was right there to knock down Johnson for another sack.
So now it's going to be 3rd down, and I don't know very many plays in your playbook that you've got that'll get you a first down on 3rd and 15.
.301 left to play, and do you try to play it safe or you try to make a gamble?
Well, you've got to play it safe here. You've got plenty of time.
Johnson. High pass, incomplete. He was still getting some pressure by those defenders in white.
And he did a smart thing in getting rid of the football, but it was a dangerous pass because it was a little high, and you had a lot of Tuskegee defenders right in that area that could have gotten an interception and possibly taken it the other way for 6.
Still trying to figure it out offensively is Morehouse. Maganda is in his own end zone to punt.
And that's going to be a big question here. Does Tuskegee go after this one?
And Petway will take it, and looks like he may have called a fair catch and still tried to run with it. And that's what the official is saying, that he did call for a fair catch. Now, he may have been trying to block the sun out of his eyes, but as soon as he waved that hand,
yes.
Player safety at the utmost, and that's what the official is letting the coach know.
All right, if you watch the replay, he's pointing forward. It doesn't look like he called fair catch. It looked like he was trying to signal for someone to get out of the way. He didn't clearly have his hand over his head.
Yeah, but he waved his arm.
Yeah.
He didn't point with the trigger finger.
Yeah.
He pointed with the rifle finger.
Yes.
And remember, player safety is the utmost, and they want to make sure that they don't put a player in danger.
And that's one of the things the NCAA said this offseason. They told the officials that player safety is going to be a point of emphasis, period.
All right, with 2:37 left to play, ball at midfield, can Lacey drive his team down and try to get another score before the half? Reese, once again, he has that nice turnaround spin move. As soon as you think you've got him, he just uses those quick feet, turns his body around, and moves forward.
And you watch the replay again here. And he makes this move, spin move. He steps up, gets additional yardage, goes out of bounds to stop the clock. 2:12 to go, and Tuskegee's on the move.
Approaching the 2-minute mark before the half. And a nice run, enough for the first down. Another good play there by Kenny Gant. And we're getting some pushing and shoving going on. And this offensive line is finally starting to show its worth.
And watch as number 72 for Tuskegee actually led the way. Great job downfield for those offensive linemen. When they get on the second level, and when we talk about second level, you're getting off those defensive linemen and getting to the linebackers and the defenders and behind the line of scrimmage. That means you're doing an excellent job.
First and 10, less than 2 minutes to play, 1:48 on the clock. Lacey with his best drive so far this half. This time getting some pressure, eludes defenders, eludes another one, but nope, not in time. This time it's David Smith with another sack. I'm counting 2 for him and at least 4 or 5 for the Maroon Tigers.
And watch the replay. Tuskegee, Morehouse actually brought the house, pun intended, and they just brought more men than Tuskegee left in to block. Lacey tries to make a play, gets outside, but could not get away from Smith. That brings up a 2nd and long.
2nd down, and we'll call it 18 for the first. They need to get inside the 26-yard line. Lacey still getting some pressure on the backside, and do they call it a catch? They do call it a catch. Ladaro Petway with an incredible catch, slipping down but able to focus and bring it in.
We go to the replay, and you'll see Lacey scanning the field, steps up, throws, finds his man, makes an unbelievable grab, reception, but not a first down, but it's going to be 3rd down and about 9 with a little over a minute to go in the half.
Timeout is called. They're trying to make sure that they get everything on the right page as they have 1:04 left to play in the half. And for Tuskegee, they're trying to add on to the lead. And for Morehouse, can their defense stop the Golden Tigers one more time?
And they need to just dial up another blitz. Their blitz packages have been getting there. They've been stunning with their defensive linemen. They're running loop stunts and slant stunts on the defensive line, and it's caused some problems with that Tuskegee offensive line. And along with those stunts, they're also sending a linebacker in those voids, so they're coming through scot-free.
All right, we're ready to get it going in the last minute and 4 seconds before the half. Lacey. Interception by the Maroon Tigers. Good return by Morehouse. Great defensive play by the Maroon Tigers. Number 10 on the interception, Jaquan Simpkins, the young man out of Marietta, Georgia, with a nice play.
And if we go to replay here, what you see is Lacey, he was under some duress. He tries to step up, and so he couldn't get as much into his throw as he needed to. The ball sailed on him just a little bit, and there's Johnny on the spot, Jaquan Simpkins with the INT.
Young man out of Hutchinson Community College in Marietta, Georgia. With 38 seconds left, you can say for some people, they'll say that this is a Morehouse victory for the first half. A highly touted offense, an offense that is quick strike, can score at any given time. They've able to limit them to 7 points, and now they've given their offense the ball back, but there is a flag on the play.
So we'll wait and see, but you've got to give credit to that coaching staff of Morehouse.
So we have penalties on both sides, a hold and an unsportsmanlike, and they'll move it back, move it forward, and give a yard or two. We'll be right back where we started.
That's true. We look at this whole situation as we had a shot just then of Johnson. He has got to step up right now. This is his opportunity to shine. Even, you run your 2-minute offense right here, and this is every quarterback and everybody's dream from playing Little League on with just a little bit of time left in the game or in the half to run that 2-minute offense and score 6 and put your team in a position where you can win.
Little League, you just want to score all the time.
They do, but you still want that last-second touchdown.
4-5 wide receivers set, empty backfield, nice throw and catch, and finally we can say Lake McGuffey with the reception. Lake and Lance, the twins, The McGuffey twins, one of the offensive leaders for the Maroon Tigers. We have been very, very quiet so far this game.
Those guys from McDonough, 6'3", 190 pounds, they are outstanding.
Another pitch and catch, and this time they let the receiver get loose, and he is pushed out of bounds. Tamarick Vanover, yes, the same Tamarick Vanover, the son of the former Kansas City Chief.
And watch Vanover step back, makes the reception, makes a move, shows you some of the moves that his father had when he was at Florida State and with Kansas City, getting yards, moving the chains, first down, and we're 25 seconds to go before the half, and the Maroon Tigers are marching.
Less than 10 seconds on the play clock. Johnson throwing it deep and intercepted by Tuskegee. They're going to run it out of the end zone. Great job by the Golden Tigers. Eugene Leach on the interception.
Leach just playing center field at safety, just read the quarterback's eyes, played his position. You watch the replay and you'll see what I'm talking about. Johnson rolls, he throws, he tries to force it over the top, and he reads the quarterback's eye, steps right into the path, gets, can I dare say, an early Christmas gift?
No, it's a trick or treat. It's Halloween. Okay, so it's a Halloween treat.
All right, he got a Halloween treat.
Yeah, I mean, we got to get through Halloween, Thanksgiving. You already jumping to Christmas?
Yes, sir.
Eric,
yes,
you can't jump to Christmas already.
You know, that's everybody's favorite time of year.
Everybody's? Are you sure? Okay, and they're going to kneel it and go into the locker room, and that'll be the end of the first half as Morehouse has held, but Tuskegee's defense has had a stronger wall, shutting out Morehouse for the first half, and Willie Slater and his team only able to pull out 7 points. We'll go to halftime. 81st Annual Tuskegee Morehouse Classic, 7-0 in favor of the Golden Tigers, right here on Aspire.
Toothpaste and rinse. Gently whiten and fortify weak spots. Use together for...
And halftime score, 7-0 in favor of Tuskegee. James Verrett along with Eric Tabor. It has been an entertaining game. We've had a lot of sacks and a lot of interceptions, but overall, Tuskegee has shown a way in order to get the win.
That's right. I always enjoy a good, solid rock'em sock'em action contest. Defense has been the name of this game so far. I've enjoyed thoroughly watching that defensive line of Morehouse really try to impose their will on this Tuskegee offensive line, and vice versa on the other side.
Big plays on defense has led the way. Block kick here that helped propel Osmond Thompson there on the block, and then finding the tight end on the inner for the inside for the touchdown to make it 7-0 in favor of Tuskegee, but then an interception by Morehouse has the momentum half, but it will be another interception. Eugene Leach with the interception and return to put the first half on ice. When we come back, we'll get you ready for the second half. You see the Maroon Tiger marching band of Morehouse. More football for the second half right here on Aspire. Hi. And you're listening to the marching bands as they entertain the crowd here at the 81st Annual Tuskegee Morehouse Classic in historic Columbus, Georgia. Hello, everybody. James Verrett along with Eric Tabor. First half, it seems as though the defense for Morehouse played well offensively. They have not been able to muster little or any offense.
Well, we talk about defense. Defense wins championships, and that's what Coach Freeman is basing this on. Kevin Lacey has only thrown 2 interceptions coming into this game, but he's already thrown 1 today.
And when we take a look at our first half statistics, it appears that Tuskegee would have a resounding lead, but it's been a great defensive performance by Morehouse, who has really had a wall. As you can see right here, Tuskegee rushing yardage 26. Morehouse only has -6. And when you see the passing yardage, that's really what's helped Tuskegee.
And you look at it, you look at the 111 yards passing. Lacey done an admirable job so far in this game. He has 10 for 19 for 111 yards, but his longest pass was 20. But a telltale sign, even though it's not showing up in the stats right now, 4 sacks.
0 for 6 in third down conversions for Morehouse. They have to improve that if they want to get things going. And for the second half, how will Morehouse try to improve offensively when you only have negative yards rushing?
Offensively, they're just going to have to look, and this is what the coaching staff has done. They've gone into halftime and said, what are they doing to us to stop us from running the football? So they're going to make some adjustments, maybe adjust some blocking assignments, maybe looking at maybe a couple of more screen passes to spread out that defense.
Could they move Monquavius Johnson to running back? They've done that so far this season at some point.
And that's what you need to do. You need to get your playmakers in space, and that's what they need to do. Maybe line him up in the slot, screen pass to him, let him make a play.
Morehouse, they need this victory in order to stay in the running for Tuskegee. They're trying to remain undefeated. Stay tuned. When we come back, we'll have the third quarter, 81st Annual Tuskegee Morehouse Classic right here on Aspire, the SIAC Game of the Week. And a great performance by the Morehouse Marching Band. James Verrett along with Eric Tabor. 7-0 is your score. Halftime here in Columbus, Georgia. For 81 years, these two teams have played at this neutral site at a historic A.J. McClung Memorial Stadium, and they have entertained the fans both in the state of Alabama and the state of Georgia. And when you think about it worldwide, because this is a city that has been host for the 1996 Olympic events,
yes,
and also a number of things, and also you have a military base that's right here. And when you think about Tuskegee, they have touched the world. You think of George Washington Carver, you think of the Tuskegee Airmen, but their football team this year wants to make a statement similar to that they're one of the best nationally.
And they really have so far. They're 5-0, undefeated. They have come from behind. They've dominated games. They've won. They just have found a way to win, and that's what championship teams do. You find a way to win. Sometimes you might not win pretty, but a win is a win. And if you want to win a championship, you're going to have those days where you're going to struggle and have to win ugly.
So far in first half, your assessment, were they playing an ugly Golden Tiger first half?
It was more, I feel like, a great game plan by Rich Freeman and his defensive staff. They are running all kinds of stunts and things up front. They're running loop stunts with a defensive lineman. They're slanting linemen. And then when it creates a bubble or a gap or seam, they're sending the linebacker on a delayed blitz, and it's causing Tuskegee all kinds of problems offensively, trying to figure out a way and who's coming and who to plug a hole.
So if you're the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee right now, offensively, how do you get Kevin Lacey to hit that stride that everybody would love to see where he dominates a game?
Coach Slater is a mastermind at putting together his offensive game plan. And what he needs to do here is run plays that Kevin Lacey is comfortable with. You've seen in basketball and other sports, you'll let the players maybe call a play or two. And that's what he might need to do to settle his quarterback down. Let this quarterback call a play. Let him get comfortable. Let him develop a rhythm. Once he gets in rhythm, it's going to be lights out for that offense.
When we started this game, it looked like Morehouse defense was out to send a message. They have slowed the Golden Tigers, less than 150 yards rushing. But for the Maroon Tigers of Morehouse, they have to do something to ignite their offense because they've only been able to muster about 43 yards of total offense, -6 yards. And when you talk to Rich Freeman, he knows in order for his team to be on that championship level the way that they were about 6 years ago, they have to establish a run game, and that's something that Tuskegee's defense has shut the door on so far in this game.
In order to improve, they're going to have to open it up. They're going to have to get their playmakers in space. With that being said, maybe move Johnson into a slot receiver position, into a wide receiver position, into a running back. Get him the ball in space. Let him make a play. Then you can start developing and building on some other things. Get Amari Smith involved. He's been injured. You've got a lot of injuries on this Morehouse team, and a lot of these guys are just coming back into form. So you see Rich Freeman right here as he was talking with the officials. He's developed a strategy. Defensively, I think you don't change a thing. Offensively, bottom line, get Johnson in space.
And for Rich Freeman, they are trying to get their first conference win this season. They've lost some close games, especially last week against Clark Atlanta, who is one of the upstart teams in the league. And he said that basically they did what they always do. They immediately went to practice the next day on Sunday. And he said this week they've had some of their best practices they've had all season. We're ready to get underway. Tuskegee will kick to Morehouse to start the second half.
And we're set to begin the third period of the 81st Tuskegee Morehouse Classic.
And we are underway. Morehouse will take it at their own 5, and they're trying to find an opening. Gets out to the 10. He eludes one tackler, gets out to the 20, and out to about the 21-yard line. And that's Reese Knuckles on the return.
Good return by Knuckles. He finds an open lane. You get through there. You don't do a lot of dancing because that gives your defenders a chance to close in on you. You just go ahead and make your move and accelerate through the gap, get what you can, and live to fight for another day.
So if you're going to make a move, always go forward.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's one of the things coaches always used to preach when I was on the ball field.
And how many moons ago was that?
Oh, that was literally about 100 moons ago, I believe.
Monquavius Johnson still in at quarterback. Sometimes so far this season they have went to their backup, Kayvon Taylor, but so far this game they have not. They're trying to improve upon a 43-yard total for the first half offensively. And that's not going to help you because immediately the defense for Tuskegee was right there to wrap that play up.
And we go to replay, and you watch Johnson throw. The ball was tipped or deflected, and that took the timing of that play. Just messed up the entire timing of that play. So it's now second down and about 12 or 13 for the Maroon Tigers.
Darnell Johnson there on the tackle for the Golden Tigers. This time they try a run, and they get some positive yards, but not much. So they gain a yard back from what they lost on the pass play, which will bring up a third and about 12.
And again, Coach Freeman wants to establish the run, and you're going to go ahead. I hate to call any play a throwaway. Every play is designed to go the distance for a touchdown, but this wasn't one of those plays. You had a missed block, and the Tigers made a tackle, stopped him short, third down.
Johnson. Helmet is lost on that line, but then Johnson is going to run well short of the first down. Could not find a receiver downfield. Tuskegee defender loses his helmet, but it looks like it'll be a fourth down situation, so he'll leave the field safely. And for Monquavius Johnson, some positives there, but remember, it started off with a 4-yard negative on the pass play.
I enjoyed this play because now it was what I was talking about. Johnson got in space. He created positive yards. He picked up about 8 yards on the play, and this might be the beginning of something big for the Maroon Tigers.
Petway back deep, and punting for Morehouse is Picaro. Picaro gets a nice punt, and it will go out of bounds. They will mark it at the 37-yard line, and that's where Tuskegee will take over. 12:48 left to play in the third quarter. Tuskegee up by 7 in the 81st Annual Tuskegee Morehouse Classic, live from Columbus, Georgia, right here on Aspire.
Mr. Clean gets tough on dirt and grime and grease in just a minute. Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and every room that's in.
I don't want you to do that either.
We have some Tuskegee fans who are trying to shield themselves from the sun, while others are trying to soak up the sun's essence, as we have a 7-point lead for the Golden Tigers as they have their first series of the second half. James Verrett along with Eric Tabor right here on Aspire, the SIAC Game of the Week, the 81st Annual Tuskegee Morehouse Classic from Columbus, Georgia. Lacey eludes one tackler, nice throw and catch, finds his tight end Leo Gilbert, enough for the first down into Morehouse territory. First down, Tuskegee.
And I think one of the things Slater has done, Coach Slater and his offensive staff have done, is when they went into the locker room at halftime, they looked at some of the things that Morehouse was doing, and they are trying to exploit those blitzes by hitting the tight end underneath that coverage, and that's what they did in this situation.
First and 10, ball at the 44-yard line of Morehouse. Up by 7 are the Golden Tigers. And they reach out and find Kenny Gant on the carry. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, may have gained 1 yard on the play. And yes, that is the son of Dallas Cowboy veteran, former NFL player, Kenny Gant.
He's got 2 Super Bowl rings. He lives in Tampa, and believe it or not, he's an alumni of Albany State. He played his college football at Albany State University.
So I know the Albany State faithful are very upset that he's shipped his son to Tuskegee.
And it was one of those things, and we laugh about it, but you can't, your son has to walk his own path. So he didn't have any control over that. He let his son decide where he wanted to go.
And another pitch and catch in a positive way. Javarius Cheatham with the reception, starting to become the favorite receiver today for Kevin Lacey.
And watch Lacey here. He eludes a little bit of that blitz. He gets it over, and he's finding those soft spots in that defense, finding his receiver good enough for another Tuskegee Golden Tiger first down.
Now they're deeper into Morehouse territory, ball at the 24. Lacey has slowed the pace, but still able to get some productive yards for his team. Running the option, has a room to run, finds a hole in another one, able to get down to the first-yard marker again before he's brought down. That's what makes Lacey a dangerous player. And right now, he is down, and for all Tuskegee fans, you don't want to see him rolling on the ground in pain.
And Lacey does a great job of reading the option. They decide to take the pitch man. Lacey steps up, makes the play, and goes down. Looks like he went down on that knee. But let's wait and see. As you're right, the Tuskegee faithful are definitely holding their breath on this one. But believe it or not, that is one of Kevin Lacey's favorite plays to run. You talk about what he likes to do. And I mentioned it earlier that Kevin Lacey, let him call a play that he's comfortable with and let him start making a play. And it is serious, as looks like Coach Slater, the head coach, and he's also the offensive coordinator, has come out on the field, and several Tuskegee faithful several players are on the knee there as
well. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll give you a status on Kevin Lacey. 11:02 left to play. 7-0 is your score right here on Aspire, the SIAC Game of the Week. Positive news for those fans of Tuskegee. Kevin Lacey left on his own power, but as you see here on the previous play, when he is hit, it looks like he hit the ground real hard and possibly got the wind knocked out of him.
And we see Kevin Lacey, you don't see any ill effects. It looks like he's okay, but he's going to have to come out for at least one play. So he'll get a breather and come back in and hopefully regain control of that offense.
Well, coming in, who is already a player who's had some time, played in the game last week against UNC Pembroke, Jamarcus Ezel.
And Ezel,
long pass, trying to find a receiver, and intercepted by Morehouse. Coming out of the end zone is the defender, Jaquan Simpkins, and he has some more room to run. A flag has been thrown. This may be all coming back, but he's going to give it his all beyond midfield and knocked out of bounds in Tuskegee territory for Ezell. Pass number 1, interception number 1 in this game for him, and for Simpkins, celebration.
And celebration time it is, and that's what we talk about, the blitz packages that came across. They made a play, the ball goes over, he steps in front of it, interception, has an opportunity to take it to the house.
Great job by Simpkins. It seems as though interceptions in the end zone has been the norm.
And this is the second one. You go back to the replay, and you'll see the throw, an interception, easy pick, and he's trying to call out his blocks, makes a move, gets to the 20, here comes the first flag, almost takes it to the house.
And the defense once again shows that it may be the strength of this Morehouse squad this season, able to shut the door on the Golden Tigers and give the offense an opportunity to get on the scoreboard. Monquavius Johnson looking for a way to ignite this offense. They have less than 100 yards total offense so far this game. Johnson throws a knuckleball, and Tamarick Vanover, still young player, still developing physically, and he is slung out of bounds by the more senior defenders of Tuskegee.
That Tuskegee secondary is a veteran-led group. They lost a couple of people from last season, but you can't sleep on these guys. They've got 7 interceptions this season between those guys back there, so they are going to dominate.
Nice run play, able to gain 1 or 2 yards.
You going to give us every play in practice, bro. Dog these niggas, bro.
Another short gain. So far, Tuskegee has not allowed any large runs, negative yards rushing for the men of Morehouse.
This is a third down.
Ball batted down at the line of scrimmage. Nice hands by the defenders for Tuskegee.
Darian Hall defends the pass.
Darian Hall, and I think this is another one of the defensive players being Johnny on the spot.
That is true. The defensive end was taught, okay, if a guy's trying to cut your legs, you stop, squat, sit there, because there's going to be a screen pass or a quick play, get your arms up, and that's exactly what he does. Spots the ball, bats it down, forces a 4th down. Now the offense will get another shot.
So once again, defense for Morehouse gives the opportunity for their offense to show something, and they don't show much. Petway goes backwards and continues to go backwards. Good special team tackle there by Morehouse. Number 44, Jonathan Cummings from Lithonia, Georgia. Arabia Mountain High School right there for the nice open field special teams tackle. And Tuskegee will take over in their own territory at about the 35-yard line, make it 37.
The Tuskegee 38.
And here comes Kevin Lacey back into the ball game. And just like we were alluding to earlier, it looked like he might have just had the wind knocked out of him. He looks like he is ready to go.
First and 10, up by 7, looking to try to add on to the lead. Keeper for Lacey. He does not show any ill effects from having that wind knocked out of him of the last series. He's right back there to take a little bit more punishment.
The thing I saw on that play that really
Terrence Mitchell.
kept it from being a big gainer was a little bit of indecision by Lacey. Usually when you're at that mesh point, they call it a mesh point when you're trying to make the decision if I'm going to give it to the back or I'm going to pull it out and tuck and run. He hesitated, and that caused that delay in that short yardage game.
Lacey this time on the keeper may have been the wrong choice because he was snuffed out rather quickly by that defensive front for Morehouse. Number 92, Robert Davis, the stump,
That's him.
in on the play.
And he collapsed the pocket just in this situation. That was an outstanding job or an outstanding effort on his part. It wasn't a bad read by Lacey. It was just that Davis beat the lineman that was trying to block him.
Now that is the epitome of a defensive stopper. He is a stump.
And he's listed at 300 pounds, but I think he might be a little heavier than 300.
Reese on the reception has some room to run. Reese trying to outrun the defense. He is pushed. 10, 5, touchdown Tuskegee. He was pushed toward the touchdown. Great play by Desmond Reese.
Outstanding effort all the way around. Reese accelerated, and that's what we talk about when you are a receiver or when you got the football. You want to continue running toward that goal line. He never stopped. He did a spin move. He just ran through would-be tacklers. He was not going to be denied.
Dalton Hall for the point after attempt. Good play by Desmond Reese, able to extend the lead 13-0. We're waiting for the point after attempt by Dalton Hall. Kick is up and successful. And with 7:42 left to play, 14-0 is your score. When we come back, we'll see if Morehouse can answer the call. But so far, Kevin Lacey finds his senior receiver, Reese, and Reese is catapulted by boosters of Morehouse into the end zone right here on the Spire.
No.
Desmond Reese on the touchdown reception, and he gets a congratulations from his coach, Willie Slater.
That's one of the few times you'll see Slater smile during a football game. But we're going to have to come up with a nickname for him, Reese the Beast.
And Dalton Hall coming in to perform the kickoff duties for the Golden Tigers. We've been waiting for the offense to ignite, and that last offensive play was an example of what we can expect from this team going forward.
Agreed. Kevin Lacey looked outstanding in this series. He came out, shook off the cobwebs, comes back in, issues a strike, lets his receiver get what we call yak, yards after the catch, and he does nothing but take it directly to the house.
Knuckles on the return. Knuckles gets out to about the 24-yard line, make it 26. Reese Knuckles on the return.
Joshua Burton on the return for Morehouse.
And now let's see what can happen for Morehouse. Now they're down by 14. The defense has given them opportunities to try to cut into this lead, but every time they do so, they give the ball right back to an explosive Tuskegee offense. But now McQuavius Johnson and company will have to try to spread the ball out, go a little deep, so this lead won't increase.
And this offensive line is going to have to stand up and be solid right now.
4 wide receiver set. Thought of a flare pass, has plenty of time, finds a receiver in the pocket of that defense, and enough for the first down into Tuskegee territory we go. And number 43, Trevor Gichpada, there on the reception.
Johnson fakes the screen pass, rolls out. He could have run this football, but he finds his receiver wide open down the field, and this is the kind of play that the Maroon Tigers need to make and consistently make, as we've got a flag also on the field.
Trevor Geach-Abba on the reception. He's just 5'8", 165 out of Concord, North Carolina. They're doing a good job doing some recruiting in the state of North Carolina. They have a few players from there.
And I've got to agree with you on that. You look down the roster, they have to recruit the best. And they have to recruit the best student athletes out there. They're not just athletes, but the best student athletes. Morehouse has a very high academic entrance requirement. So not everybody can be a Maroon Tiger.
Very true. 1st and 10 in Tuskegee territory, down by 14. Johnson in the shotgun looking for some offensive spark. And this time takes the safe route, finds a receiver, enough for another first down, and they are moving the chains. Isaiah Hicks on the reception. Check that, number 15, Amir Smith.
He has been injured most of the season, and it's great to see him. He's finally rotating into form. He missed the first 3 games because of an injury, and now he is kind of getting back into shape, getting back into form, and showing you why he is one of the leaders of this Maroon Tigers offense.
Still staying in the spread, Johnson with his best drive so far this game. Keeping it, and he pays the price for keeping it. Another good play by the defense. All of that hard work is pushed back as number 12, Nicholas Pope, comes in for Tuskegee to make the play. Check that. That was Vladimir Gray on the sack.
Gray playing defensive end. He had to play contained, so his job was not to let Johnson get outside. Johnson hesitated, and that gave Gray just enough to step up.
And that negative of a penalty erases the sack by Gray because it moves Morehouse forward into the red zone. Now they have 1st and goal from the 9.
Let's see if this Morehouse offense can punch it in and cut into this Tuskegee 14-0 lead.
They've got negative yards rushing. They're not going to be able to do it on the ground. They're going to have to throw it. Johnson on the keeper, defies the odds and runs his way to the score. Maroon Tigers touchdown, Morehouse.
That play was opened up by a great offensive line surge. That hole was large enough that both you and I, James, could run through it with a tractor trailer. Watch this offensive line get a surge. There's no one within 5 yards. The linebacker comes up, but he's too little, too late. Touchdown, Morehouse College.
And now Monquavius Johnson has finally gotten their offense on the board. Maganda for the point after attempt. And kick is good. 5:48 left to play in the 3rd quarter. And now Morehouse has cut the lead back to 7. 14-7 is your score. And Monquavius Johnson, their offensive leader, negated the negative yards that they've had rushing to try to get them on the positive yard side stat-wise and also get them on the scoreboard.
Johnson has his career at Morehouse has been plagued with injuries. When he's healthy, Morehouse is 90% of the time when he finishes a ball game, 90% of the time statistics show they win.
And now for the Maroon Tigers, their defense will have to stand tall again as they're going to give the ball right back to the offense. Time of possession was heavily in favor of Tuskegee in the first half. The Morehouse offense only had the ball for about 8 or 9 minutes for the entire first half. Now, tables have turned. It appears that Morehouse will have that time of possession, but can they turn that into positives on the field?
And that's to be seen. I always talk about in football, the 2 most important drives of the game are your first and second possessions in the start of the second half.
Why is that so important?
Because you can build momentum to sway that team and to finish the drill, so to speak. It's your opportunity. You can come out of the locker room, you're fresh, you can go ahead and get that mo on your side.
Morehouse kicks it to Petway. Petway takes a bouncing ball, and now he's trying to bounce his way forward. Gets out to about the 27-yard line, and that's where the Golden Tigers from Tuskegee will take over.
Petway on the return.
So now if you're Tuskegee, do you just stay the course, or do you try to open it up even more, since now you see that Lacey has shaken off the cobwebs of getting the wind knocked out of him? He appears to be on a positive move. Do you keep him throwing the ball, or do you try to hand it off to one of those talented backs?
You just continue with your game plan. You've got a lead. You just stick with what you do and what you do well. If it's Lacey throwing the football, if it's Lacey running the option, you do it.
So make a choice.
I like to see Lacey with the option. I'm old
So
school.
you want them to run the ball?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so that's your choice.
Yes, sir.
Okay, they're going to throw it. No, I'm just kidding. All right, 1st and 10, ball at the 27-yard line. And fumble on the play. Morehouse has the ball. 10-5. Touchdown, Maroon Tigers. Touchdown, Maroon Tigers. Off of the faux pas of Tuskegee. They let the ball hit the ground, and that defense that has been playing out of their minds, David Smith with the return and the score, a huge play.
And we've been calling his name all game long. And we were talking earlier about that mesh point. I mentioned earlier about that mesh point where the quarterback has to make a decision. Once that back goes beyond the quarterback, you're supposed to let it go. Lacey tried to pull it back in, thus causing the fumble. Johnny on the spot, picks it up, takes it to the house. Celebrate good times. Come on.
This is the most important point after attempt so far in this game for the Maroon Tigers. Kick is up, and it is
Point after attempt.
no good. Alexis Maganda, no good. Looks like it went wide left. So now Tuskegee is holding on by a shoestring. 1 point. 14-13 is your score, 5:32, and we've got a ball game.
Watch the replay, and there's a fumble. Once again, we talk about that mesh point, and that's what happened. The quarterback and the back just could not get it together. The back thought he should have kept the football. Lacey tried to pull it out. Ball comes free. Smith, the Johnny on the spot, picks it up, takes it to the house.
So you said run.
I said run.
You know the Tuskegee fans at home have just fired you as offensive coordinator.
Well, I know Coach Slater. Coach Slater likes to pound the football.
Don't put it on Coach Slater.
And I'm in
You
agreement.
said run.
And I'm in agreement with Coach Slater.
You said run.
Yes.
And they paid the price.
Yes.
No,
But I'm in agreement with Coach Slater.
No. This wasn't Coach. Don't put it on Coach Slater. You said run.
I did say run the
Okay.
football.
Okay, so Tuskegee fans, it was Eric Tabor who called that run play. He called the run play. I said pass.
You did. I always say run because when you can run the football on a team, you can really break a team down, especially when you're successful like Tuskegee has been today.
But you chose that.
Yes.
And it faltered. And a nice kick by Maganda, and looks like it goes out of the back of the end zone.
Tuskegee.
And maybe the winds of Hurricane Matthew are causing some issues as we see the flags waving, forcing that ball to sail just a little bit.
And now for Kevin Lacey, he has to try to make up for the fumble exchange.
Yes.
And now try to get his team to extend their lead. Their lead has been preserved by a missed point after attempt. Other than that, it would be a tie ball game.
Bottom line, you stick to what gets you here. You don't change course. And continue to look for Tuskegee to pound the football and set up some play action.
Gonna go with a two-back set. To Jerry and Craig, the halfback, and they're gonna pitch it out to him. Craig with a nice hop, skip, and jump to get some positive yards. Seems as though this team does not push the panic button. Even though we may have some Tuskegee faithful that are like, what? I don't believe this. We're only up by a point. But the players at Tuskegee so far this season have kept an even keel. They always know they have the capability of coming back, extending a lead, or making an explosive play.
That's a mirror image of their coach. He is a very laid-back, low-key type of person.
Give to the fullback, and now they're running the football. Brandon Wilson there on the carry, but goes nowhere fast. And some flags down at about the 40-yard line.
Penalty marker on the play. The Tigers run at right guard.
I need them dogs, daddy, right here.
So for 81 years, this game has been played in this stadium at this location. It has grown as the city of Columbus has grown. Let's see. So all that positive has been wiped away by the face mask, which means automatic first down for Tuskegee.
And once again, we talk about, I mentioned earlier about staying the course. You continue to do and execute what got you here, whether it's running the football with the option or the inside run game or your screen game, or even if it's going over the top, you stick with what you know.
Lacey trying to run the option, gets it out to Craig, and Craig may have gained 1 yard before he was submarined and brought down by the defender from Morehouse.
Jay Craig on the option.
The Maroon Tigers defense did an outstanding job on this option. They strung it out. This is just how you draw it up for your defense to execute. You force everything. You force that offense to continue to run laterally, and that's exactly what happened. You get a very minimal gain on the play. Now it's second and long.
Running out of time on the play clock, less than 6 seconds. They got to get it off in a hurry. Lacey with a short drop and a strike. 10-5, touchdown, Golden Tigers. Wow. When they say quick strike, that is the epitome of quick strike. DeKendrick Moncrief on the reception, the senior from Prattville.
And Lacey drops back, finds him, and a solid strike in a tight window, completes it for the touchdown. And that's what running the football does for you. It opens up that passing game right over the top, touchdown, Golden Tigers.
Now we're starting to see the explosive. Point after attempt, up is good. With 3:29 left to play, that 1 point lead has now been extended. 21-13 is your score, and the fans are happy. And Moncrief really comes out of nowhere. Didn't hear his name called at all this afternoon, but Lacey able to find the wide open receiver on a quick strike.
And I think that's what Lacey might have needed. He might have needed that wind knocked out of him. You know, some boxers talk about they can't get started until they get that first blow. And that blow might have been the bell that Lacey needed to wake up and get started and say, school is in session.
So I can start doing that to you, just knock you out, and then you're going to wake up refreshed and ready to go.
I would say that yes.
Okay, we're in different weight classes, different age classes.
Yes.
And I don't think it's legal for me to do that. You could do that in the field of sport,
But I don't know if I could do that in the field of broadcasting. I'll be known as the hitting announcer. He hits his analysts. No. As you see the Tuskegee band playing on, 21-13 is your score, 3:29. But can the Maroon Tigers of Morehouse answer the bell? Morehouse with some room to run and down at about the 30-yard line. Good return there by number 15, Amir Smith.
And I'm waiting to see Amir Smith explode. Last season, he had 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns, set a school record in all-purpose yards, and returns for touchdown with 2 in the entire season of 100 yards plus. I'm looking for him to have a breakout game here. Maybe he can get one and light up this Morehouse crowd and get them excited.
Well, the Maroon Tigers are not out of it. 3:21 left to play. They are only down by a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, and they can be right back in this game. And looks like the down marker on the far side, they already will put them in the hole at second down. And see, it's on Tuskegee's side, so the Morehouse fans are going to say that it's the Tuskegee people who are cheating. And see, they quickly brought it down. They don't want anybody to see it. And I just want to say our SIAC officials do a great job. They're some of the best in the business. But right now, that's equipment failure.
Yes.
Okay, we'll put it on equipment, and not on Tuskegee.
And that thing happens.
And it is first down. And they go nowhere fast, so that was a premonition. It was going to automatically be second down.
Perhaps that's the case. And now they can put up the second down.
They fixed it. They fixed it. And Monquavius Johnson trying to fix the ills of this Morehouse offense that has less than 100 yards total for the game. And a lot of that has to do with this great defense of Tuskegee, but also by some offensive miscues by the men from Morehouse. All right, nice pitch and catch. Good move there by Amir Smith. Another good move, able to get enough for the first down. He basically got run after catch yards. They should have said juke moves after catch.
A video game moves. I haven't seen moves like that, and you see it. We talked about him being injured and missing the first 3 games, and he's just now rounding back into shape. And now you see why I say he is one of their go-to guys along with Monquavius Johnson.
It almost picked off. Oh, my goodness. That one was in and out of the hands of Osban Thompson.
And Johnson just a little late on his throw. And in college football, you cannot be late on your throw or something like this will happen, or something even worse, a pick-6 touchdown.
Well, he has a very interesting release. He throws it more like a pitcher or an outfielder more realistically than a quarterback. And that one just got away from his tight end, Ryan Edwards. He's trying to find the preseason All-SIAC, but has been unable to find him on a consistent basis this afternoon.
Johnson has been under some duress. This time he delivered a strike, but it was just a little, if I can use the term, too much mustard on the football.
You can use it all day, as long as you eat it.
It's always great on hot dogs.
For some. 3rd down and 10. You're eating a hot dog after the game?
I'm going to eat more than that. You know,
goodness.
We've got tailgating all over the place, so I'm going to enjoy it.
And this one.
We're going to get a flag.
Should be a flag, but we'll see if they had a receiver in the area.
Johnson's pass is incomplete.
And head referee is trying to wait to see, and Monquavius Johnson is getting up, and he is not 100% after that hit.
And Johnson drops back to throw. He gets under some duress. He's trying to look. He just throws to get away from it. And there's nobody in the area. So it should be an intentional grounding. Easy call for the officials.
So now they're saying no foul. But that pass away, that flag away, and you see Monquavius Johnson, he is feeling the ill effects of that hit.
And I think they're going to say it was a tipped ball is the reason why it's not an intentional grounding.
4th down and punt formation for Morehouse.
Petway back deep for Tuskegee. Maganda. High snap, he corrals it and kicks another line drive. Punt takes a Morehouse bounce to Petway. He eludes one defender but is easily wrapped up and brought down. Good open field tackle again by special teams aficionado Jonathan Cummings out of Lithonia, Georgia.
He did an outstanding job. He was first down the field, and your job as a gunner, and that's his position. He plays the gunner, and the gunner is supposed to be the first guy down the field to make the tackle. He gets down the field, makes the tackle, holds on. Well, he
The ball is marked at the
loses a little bit, but he holds on, makes the play, and they finish the drill. Great job by the Morehouse special teams.
So now Tuskegee will be working out of their own territory inside their own 10-yard line. And for Kevin Lacey, this can be the type of drive that can shut the door on Morehouse's effort to come back in this game. 1st and 10, 1:47 left to play in the third quarter. And he's got basically the whole field he has to march down in order to get his team into the end zone. Running the option, dangerous play, but they turn that danger into something positive. Good run there by number 32, Kenny Gant. Yes, the son of former Dallas Cowboy, two-time Super Bowl champion Kenny Gant. One of 4 or 5 former NFL players' children who are playing in this afternoon's matchup. 1 for Morehouse and 4 for Tuskegee.
And we talk about Kenny Gant. You know his father's nickname in the NFL. They used to call him the Shark. He was a special teams hero. He used to come out the field all the time with the Shark's fin.
So his son is the Barracuda slicing up the Maroon Tigers, and this time the Barracuda only gains about 1 or 2. I can't call him a shark. You only have 1 shark. I can't call him a baby shark.
Yeah,
so he's still a aquatic predator.
Yes.
But more like a Barracuda.
Yes.
Okay. Not good to eat, but it's good to see. You never want to see, you see them when you're scuba diving. Anything silver, they're coming after. They warn you about that. They're Barracuda. I know you've been out in the Caribbean.
A little bit.
A little bit?
A little bit.
Okay, you just touch your foot in the water.
That's all I'll do.
Let's go again. Another running play there by Kenny Gant, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage, enough for possibly a first down, depending on the spot. And they will give him the first down. Redshirt freshman Kenny Gant trying to make his way there for the Tuskegee Golden Tiger team.
Tiger, first down.
And Gant does pick up the first down. Lacey's trying to get the instructions from Coach Slater and company in that offense. It looks like it's starting to get on a roll as we're about to start the fourth quarter.
And they get one more play off, and a number fumble, and the ball is going to go into the end zone. Touchdown, Morehouse. Once again, prosperity cannot be enjoyed by the Golden Tigers as the Maroon Tiger defense spoils what should have been a routine play. Touchdown,
for the Maroon Tigers.
Morehouse.
The defense once again made a great play. They anticipated the snap count, as we're going to have they anticipated the snap count jumped, made a play, disrupted the handoff, forced the fumble, and now the Maroon Tigers are within 2 points away. Do they go for two here?
Lynn Parrish on the fumble recovery. Great play by Lynn Parrish, the young man out of Lithonia, Georgia, Martin Luther King High School. And right now they want to think about it, because if they go for two, they have an opportunity to tie if they kick. And let's look at the play again.
And you see the nose tackle. You could call it what you like. It looked like he might have jumped the gun and jumped off sides here.
Chris Faulkner was the nose guard who knocked the ball away, and then it was Johnny on the spot making the bigger play for Morehouse.
So now the Tigers, or the Maroon Tigers, are going to go for two here as the clock is expired. We're going to have one untimed play, and the Tigers are going to go for the tie.
Got to go for the tie. You've got to do it in a game of this magnitude. You're already 0-3 in the conference. You need a win, and a win against a nationally ranked team that is also in your conference can go a long way in raising that momentum and the morale of not only the team but the university.
You talk about it because last week against Clark Atlanta, they had a 22-point lead going into the fourth quarter and lose 37-36. Looks like they've got Stump in the backfield.
Yes, they do. Oh, they got to move him. They've got to move Big Robert Davis in the right spot, and they have to call another timeout.
It reminds me of the old days with Refrigerator Perry. They lined him up at fullback and let him plow the road.
But Perry knew where to go. They have just used two timeouts to try to get a two-point conversion. If they miss this, those two timeouts are wasted.
Yes, I agree. And it's just one of those things you're trying to figure out what to do, and Davis was excited just to get in there. I don't know if he was going to get the football or he was going to be a bulldozer in this case, if I may say, since his name is Davis, a Davis dozer, and plow the road there.
So what do you think of a play that will work for Rich Davis and Rich Freeman and his team to try to get into the end zone right now?
I would like to see a play-action pass. You bring in your big package, so this Tuskegee defense is going to assume run. They're going to sell out for the run. You slip that tight end out into a corner route, going toward the back pylon of the end zone, and you just lay it over the top for it.
21-19 is your score. Morehouse scored on a fumble recovery. It should have been a routine play. And let's see what. So a flag against
the
Tuskegee. They had too many men on the field. I don't know how that happens after two timeouts. And now they go for two to try to tie the game.
And now you run the football. You try to pound it in there.
Play action. Throw. Incomplete. And once again, the defense for Tuskegee holds. We have gone through three quarters, and right now we have a ball game. 21-19, Tuskegee up by 2. But it's the defense of Morehouse who have shown and proved they can hang with the big boys. We'll come back with the fourth quarter right here on the spot. The 81st Annual Tuskegee Morehouse Classic, and we have a classic game going on now. We start the fourth quarter. 2 defensive touchdowns by Morehouse has propelled them back into this ball game. 21-19 is your score for
Tuskegee, they have had flashes of brilliance led by their quarterback, Kevin Lacey, but they have also had flashes of disaster in back-to-back fumbles lost that resulted in 12 points for Morehouse.
The telltale thing I've seen so far, Kevin Lacey was sacked 4 times in this game. And he might have been a little shell-shocked, and then when he got his bell rung in the third quarter, it seemed like the light bulb came on. The only issue that I saw was with that back exchange when they were running that read option. And the rule is once that fullback passes you, if the fullback still has the football, he's supposed to keep the football. And Lacey looks like he wanted to try to pull that back in, and that's been causing those fumbles. So they've got to get back on the same page on that quarterback-fullback exchange on that read option.
Well, give credit to the Morehouse defense. They have been Johnny on the spot and able to take advantage of the miscues of Tuskegee, and they have been able to capitalize and keep their team in the game. Sky kick, looking for an opening. Ball is loose. The ball is loose. Recovered by Morehouse. Once again, a big play by their special teams and a sky kick. It seems as though Tuskegee went completely asleep, and right now Rich Freeman and his team, despite all of their offensive miscues, they have been able to find a way to get into this game.
The kick goes, and the return man could not field it cleanly. He knocks it backwards where only Morehouse defenders were. Morehouse recovers the football, first down.
How many times have you ever seen a kicker hyped up?
Yes, he is. And I've actually only seen that happen once, where I saw a kicker dribble kick it, and he ran right behind it, just jumped on it.
I don't know if this is in Morehouse's best interest because their defense has scored more than their offense. And coming off the backside, and you see right there the Golden Tiger defense trying to get a sack, but it was Monquavius Johnson who got back to the line of scrimmage of the 48-yard line. Brings up second down.
And I think what they need to do to settle Johnson down is to maybe a quick slant pass, because that defense is really teeing off. It looks like they're trying to run plays that are taking some time for those routes to develop. So they need to get something where Johnson can get the ball out of his hands quickly.
With time. Another interception. Interception by the Golden Tigers. Got room to run. Got some more room to run. 30, 20. Can he outrun him? Down at the 5-yard line. The ball is loose. And Morehouse recovers. Unbelievable.
Touchback.
Unbelievable.
That needs to go on a highlight reel.
The officials are right now trying to discuss exactly what happened, if he was down before, but a great job by Darnell Hill on the interception, but then the ball went awry. He fumbled the football, there was a scramble, and Morehouse recovered. Let's take a look one more time.
Johnson looks, he throws, he thought he had a man open. They played that cover two, the corner steps in, intercepts it, he's off and running. Darnell Hill keeps going, he's going, we're going to slow it down, and let's see if he's down. It looks like he was, I can't really tell from that angle, but it looks to me like he was down when that ball came out.
Now remember, in Division II football, there is no replay. There is no replay.
Only for the championship game.
Only for postseason championship. And they do say that he was down on the play.
And yes, that is a good call. That is a good call by the officials right there. He is down. The ball comes out after he's down.
So now, remember what I told you? That was the wrong move. Why? Because the offense hasn't done anything. Once again, they give the ball back to Tuskegee. Now, it's up to Kevin Lacey and company to do what? Simply just hold on to the ball.
Yes.
13:57, and we have had fireworks coming in all directions so far in this game. Looks like they have the wrong football. They're trying to get Tuskegee's footballs on the field rather than having Morehouse's ball.
Kevin Lacey is an interesting guy. He's on track to graduate this year. He's a 4-year starter for this Golden Tigers offense. I enjoy seeing him play the game. When he is on, he is a pleasure to watch.
First and goal, ball on the 8-yard line. Try to do a throw and catch, and touchdown, Tuskegee. Jabari Cheatham on the reception, 8-yard touchdown pass from Kevin Lacey.
Cheatham beat the corner on that route. He went straight to the corner of that pylon, and that's when we talk about that rainbow pass over the top. Lacey looks at him all the way and just lays it up there. The corner just fell asleep, thinking he was probably going to get some help over the top. Didn't happen. Touchdown, Golden Tigers.
We have had a roller coaster ride of a game, but in the end, point after attempt is up, and it is good as this wonderful afternoon of football, the 81st Annual Tuskegee Morehouse Classic. It has been an incredible game. When we come back, we'll have more as the fourth quarter continues. 28-19, with all the bells and whistles that go with the Classic. We'll have more right here on Aspire.
School block party tickets only $10.
Alumni young and old make it out to the 81st Annual Tuskegee Morehouse Classic here in Columbus, Georgia. James Verrett along with Eric Tabor here at A.J. McClung Memorial Stadium. SIAC Game of the Week right here on Aspire, and what we have seen is a wild and crazy game in which defense has definitely set the tone. 2 defensive touchdowns by the Maroon Tigers, but all of that has been offset by a wonderful second half by Kevin Lacey and the offense, despite giving the ball back to Morehouse, which allowed the defense to score those touchdowns. They have been able to put 28 points on the board. Gets out to about the 33-yard line before he's brought down, and that's where the Maroon Tigers will take over here with 13:39 left to play. And emotionally, Eric, do you think they have enough in the tank to try to get something going offensively if you're Morehouse?
If you're Morehouse, you better. Bottom line is right now, you're going to have to score. We've got less than 14 minutes to go in this contest, and you are desperately needing a score. So Monquavius Johnson needs right now to put this offense on his shoulders and show you that senior leadership and carry this team for at least one more score.
Empty backfield. Johnson on a design run. Looks like he was tripped on his own foot, and he goes down after about an 8-yard gain.
Brilliantly executed play and an outstanding play call by Coach Rich Freeman and his offensive staff, knowing that right now Tuskegee, their defense is trying to take away all of those outside routes, so they're leaving the center of the field wide open. So they told Johnson, hey, just take it, get what you can, let's keep moving.
Second and short. Going to give to one of the upbacks, and he may have gotten enough for the first down. Bend but don't break. Isaiah Hicks on the carry.
At the 41.
First down, well, they'll call it third down and less than a yard.
Time is on their side, but right now momentum is in favor of Tuskegee, and they need to get the momentum back. A big play here can do that on 3rd and short. Keeper, Montravius Johnson has some room to run. If he can cut up the field, he doesn't. He does a slide, safety slide. And, yeah, that means you got to wear your knee pads.
And that was an outstanding play by Johnson. Watch here. He reads the mesh point, no defensive end. He says, I've got to take the ball and get my yardage. Takes it upfield, gets what he can, then gets down. You live to fight another play. 1st and 10, Maroon Tigers.
Johnson on the give. Finds one of his reserve running backs, Bryson Terry, on the carry.
And Terry, a true freshman, that didn't play like one that play as he took the handoff from Johnson, got upfield, got positive yards, almost broke a tackle to take that one to the promised land.
Give once again to Terry. He's just trying to find his way in that minutia of the defensive line for Tuskegee, but able to get the first down, but not much more. But they move the chains and they keep the momentum moving forward in favor of the Maroon Tigers.
And that's what I was talking about earlier. Keep grinding, keep pounding the football, get a couple of first downs, keep it moving, and that's going to lead to positive things. Now you're building your confidence. You can probably take one and try to go over the top of this play and try to get a score.
Less than 10 seconds on the play clock. They go with no huddle. They're trying to get the play from the sideline. Once again, another easy give to Bryson Terry. It seems though the conservative mindset is working for the men of Morehouse, just giving those nice gives to Terry, keeping the momentum going forward.
And what we're seeing, and Johnson just did, he kind of hesitated on that mesh point, and I talk about that mesh point, and that's where he's got to decide, do I give it to the back or do I tuck it and run? And there was a little bit of indecision, but the back took the ball, got positive yards.
Terry. And this time he's bulldogged down. Brought down by Osmond Thompson.
And I've been impressed with Terry. He does not play like a freshman. He took the handoff, makes a read, makes his cut, gets positive yards, then gets down. You live to fight another play.
Staying with an empty backfield, 5 wide receivers. Nice throwing catch. He eludes one tackler, trying to push his way forward, doing a good job of pushing forward. Good catch made by number 84, Tremel Gooden, young man out of Fairburn, Georgia.
And that reminds me of that drill that a lot of teams work on now. They call it the mug drill, where you try to bring that receiver down. They line up the DBs and the receivers. It's kind of like the old Oklahoma drill for running backs and linebackers, but it's for receivers, and you're trying to mug him and rip that ball out of there. And that's what that play, the end of that play, reminded me of.
1st and 10, ball at the 20. Give to Terry. This time Terry goes nowhere fast. But they're saying that it was a fumble, but they're going to see if they're saying the ball was down. And they're saying that he was already down. And right next door to us in the press box is the Tuskegee coaches, and they want it. And let's see. Yeah, his forward momentum had stopped.
And then they pull the ball out. But here again, there's some problems with that mesh point I'm seeing with Johnson and Terry. Because Terry, it looked like Johnson was still trying to pull that football out when Terry had gone past him. The rule is, once he goes past you, you let him have the football.
Johnson getting some pressure.
throw, catch made. Reception made by Jared Farley, young man out of Covington, Georgia. They are spreading the ball out.
And that's what I'm talking about. When you look at Johnson now, you go ahead and you give your quarterback plays he's comfortable with. Give him some throws that he likes to do. And just we'll build on those things that he can do. And that's what it looks like Morehouse is doing now. They've started to develop that rhythm.
Johnson finds another receiver, the best drive so far. Reese Knuckles right there on the reception.
A great pitch and catch. It looked like they're bringing in a whole hockey substitution here on 4th down. But in this situation, I don't know. I would look at possibly going for it in this situation. So they're gonna try a field goal, but I would have gone for it in this situation because of the fact you're down by 9 points. You need a touchdown at some point.
Blocked. Field goal is blocked. Ball is live. Still a live ball. And recovered by Morehouse.
And a tough break for the Maroon Tigers.
Looks like on that block it was number 17, Julian Morgan for Tuskegee.
The snap and the place down were fine. The kick was good, but they had some leakage right in the middle of that Morehouse offensive line. And the rule of thumb is you fan out and block out. Don't worry about somebody else's zone. You make sure your zone is covered. It looked like they had an uncovered zone.
Covered or uncovered. Morgan with the block. Morehouse saved a near touchdown by Tuskegee by covering that block.
Time to vote.
Loose
vote
ball.
Right now
and now Tuskegee has an opportunity to add on to their 28-19 lead.
And it was hard. It's hard to believe that just a few moments ago it was 21-19.
And once again, looks like there is a ball issue. That's not the right football, and Lacey is quick to say, "Hey guys, that's not our ball."
And I'm once again I'm amazed that in this situation that I harp on that they should have gone for it, and I said it just before that fact. I hate to see that the point at the field goal attempt was blocked, but they've had opportunity. They had an opportunity here, and you needed a score. You get in that touchdown, and now you kind of get into that cycle. If you got that first
trick
down.
trick play. They were going to try to pass it. Jajarian Craig wanted to do a throwback to Kevin Lacey, but it was Morehouse who snuffed it out rather quickly. The offensive line didn't give Craig enough support.
And once again, that defense is playing lights out tonight.
47-yard line. Tuskegee.
Hats off to the game plan for the defensive coordinator and Rich Freeman, who also acts as their defensive play calling coordinator.
Second down and long. They need to get inside Morehouse territory down to about the 33-yard line. Quick pass, quick strike to Reese. Reese does a good job to get back to the original line of scrimmage. May have gained 1 or 2 extra yards there to bring up a
brought down by David Smith.
And Lacey
third down and call it 9.
Lacey was under some heavy duress that play, and he was able to get it out there trying to. Lacey's in a rhythm right now, or some people might call it that zone, because now he's starting to feel it. He's getting the ball where it needs to be, and we've got a stoppage in play.
And now they're getting the right ball out there.
You don't think it's another Deflategate case, do you?
No. Lacey
Finds Gilbert. Enough of the first down and a few yards more. 1st and 10 moves the chains for the Golden Tigers.
The only thing that Coach Slater would be upset about with this play is that it went out of bounds, which stopped the clock. Lacey set his feet, completed the pass, got it to his receiver in stride. He gets positive yards, 1st down and 10 for the Tigers.
Time is working against Morehouse. Their defense, can they answer the bell and make another big play? They've already scored 2 defensive touchdowns. Fumble on the play. Ball is loose and got some pushing and shoving going on in the backfield there also. But it looks like Tuskegee recovers the fumble. And every time I say it, something happens. I'm going to be quiet. Tuskegee faithful are like, James, don't say another word about that handoff for our offense. Don't worry, I hear you.
I think I'm already in the doghouse with some of the Tuskegee faithful.
Yes, you started.
It's been a great ball game nonetheless. I've enjoyed watching this Morehouse defense really come of age in this game. I'm coming away this game impressed.
Lacey with some time, finds Gilbert, his tight end, and able to get some of those yards back to bring up a 3rd down and short.
And more importantly, it was completed. The clock continues to run. Lacey doing a great job of clock management here, keeping the clock running, getting his team ready to play.
3rd down 3.
And those timeouts that Morehouse took during the 3rd quarter just to try a 2-point conversion, used 2 of them. Now they're only down to 1 timeout, so they really can't use their timeouts to slow the momentum or the clock. They need to hold on to that in case they need it, if they can get a score sometime within the last 3 minutes and 34 seconds.
Correct, and that's one of the mistakes. I won't say it's a mistake, but it was just an interesting
option
call.
Play by Lacey, and nice big hit. Good defensive play by Morehouse. Good open field tackle made by their defender, number 23, Terrence Mitchell.
Jake Craig on the option.
And here Lacey comes out with the option. He makes the pitch, and the Maroon Tigers an outstanding job once again of playing that option.
Brings up 4th down.
They're going to take their time, continue to let the clock run, not to give Morehouse any opportunity to have any extra time. Now the clock has been stopped and the officials are conversing. I'm not sure why.
That's a good question. Looks like the Golden Tigers are going to going to punt it here.
We set the game clock to 3:03.
And they put some more seconds back on the clock. Now it's at 3:03. 28-19 your score. James Verrett along with Eric Tabor. The 81st Annual Tuskegee Morehouse Classic has lived up to the expectations of the fans and those of you watching right here on Aspire. Been an incredible game, and now Tuskegee's trying to put this game on ice.
Morehouse needs to go after this block.
Picaro to punt, and he kicks it high and short. And it goes out of bounds depending on where they're going to spot it. When we come back, we will have the final 2 minutes and 29 seconds. Can Morehouse pull a rabbit out of their hat and merge a tremendous comeback against one of the top teams in all of Division II football right here on
Hershey's all-time greats. Everyone.
And the fans enjoying a Tuskegee, looks like 2 minutes and 29 seconds away from victory. And right now, it'll be up to Morehouse to try to have a valiant last-minute comeback as they trail 28-19. They're going to go empty set with 5 wide receivers. Johnson finds one, and he is upended rather quickly. Good throw and catch to Trevor Gitspada, young man out of Concord, North Carolina, and good stop there by Thompson.
Brings up second down 8.
And Johnson looks, finds his guy, catches him in stride, but Thompson right there to cut it off.
Moving at a faster rate than they have all game. Another throw and catch reception made by Amon Herron, the young man out of Grady High School, Atlanta, Georgia. And now they're getting into rhythm, but time is not on their side. Also timeouts. They only have one left. They burned 2 timeouts trying to get a 2-point conversion, which was unsuccessful. And now they trail 28-19.
And at some point here, Johnson's going to have to take a shot over the top.
And looks like Rich Freeman was alerting the referee of something going on with the time.
Edgar Champagne, please report to the press box.
So now the referee is trying to explain to him it should be 2 minutes, 2 seconds, or what was happening with the clock. And Rich can't believe it. He's thinking, man, we can't get a break. But he's trying. Got to give him an A for effort.
Set the game clock for 2 minutes.
And this stadium is on the border between Alabama and Georgia, but it's on the Georgia side. Morehouse is in Atlanta, so you would think they would get that would help a little bit. Johnson looking to throw, throwing a long bomb, and this game is all but over. Interception once again by Tuskegee. Jonah McCutcheon there on the interception, and this may put it on ice with a high five.
And McCutcheon.
When we come back, we'll wrap this up as far as Tuskegee trying to put this game on ice. Jonah didn't see it well, but he did see an interception right here on the spot. (28-19) is your score. 1:48 left to play, and make sure you catch our next broadcast right here on Aspire. CIAA action, Virginia State taking on Bowie State, one of the red-hot teams in the CIAA. The game will kick off at 2 p.m. right here on Aspire. Some of the faithful are starting to leave. Now, some of the Tuskegee fans, I think, are a little perplexed because they have seen their offense make some stumbles, but also some flashes of greatness. And for Morehouse, they know they have a defense that can take care of opportunities given, but the offense needs some work. Lacey looking to throw deep. Has Reese, and incomplete. Reese not tall enough to get that one.
And here, Tuskegee is not resting on their laurels. They're going for the jugular to put this game completely out of reach and close that door.
You know why they're throwing, huh?
Yes.
Why are they throwing?
They're throwing it because they want to just go ahead and just grind it in and finish things.
No. Every time they've tried to hand the ball off and you think it's a routine play, Morehouse scores a defensive touchdown. So if I'm coach, I'm like, hey, we're going to throw this thing till the cows come home, because we do better passing so far than we do handing the ball off on a routine play. 2nd and 10. Good play right there to their fullback for some positive yards. Brandon Wilson. And now the clock will run, but it looks like Morehouse will use their final timeout.
And now it's 3rd down. And it looks like if the Maroon Tiger defense can hold here and not get a first down, their offense will get one more shot to try to get a quick score and maybe an onside kick to possibly win this game.
That's a lot of ifs and gifts.
It is, but it's football. Anything can happen.
Don't forget the old school block party.
Ifs and gifts.
7 p.m. Tickets are only $10.
You're asking for a lot.
Peggy Jenkins and the business.
Or maybe even this defense can come up with another.
Top bands in the area.
You see, Rich Freeman, what do you think he needs to tell his team going forward?
Going forward, I don't believe in moral victories, but this is a game where you said we were right there. We had opportunities, but we've just got to learn offensively to finish the drill and score.
Now you have no timeouts. You're down 28-19, and you've got a quarterback who's going to try to ice the game for the Golden Tigers with 1:35 left. Do you try to blitz, strip the ball, do something if you're Morehouse?
Yes, right now you challenge that defense, each and every one of those players, to make a play. This is where you want to tell everybody, be a playmaker.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
And looks like right guard Travaris Dorsey must have been hearing bells in his head. I don't know what he was hearing, but he moved, and nobody else moved too.
And he might have been on march to the beat of a different drum, and he missed the snap count in the huddle. And it's going to cost his team 5 yards, but the only saving grace is that the clock was not running when he committed the penalty.
Pass and incomplete, intended for Gilbert.
Pass intended for Leo Gilbert is incomplete.
And again, they got after Lacey. They were able to get there, and Lacey had to rush his throw, couldn't quite step into it, so it went a little high, went incomplete. And now the Maroon Tigers defense once again gets a stop. So right here, I would just line up 11 guys on the line and try to get this punt.
Punt formation, Tuskegee.
Got it. Ready.
Vanover with some room to run, and he is brought down at about the 26-yard line. And with 1:19 left to play, they're going to have to work some magic and score fast as they trail 28-19.
First and 10 from the 26-yard line.
And now it's up to this offense with 1:19, no timeouts. They're going to have to go the length of this field and quickly get a score, add the extra point, and then try to get an onside kick. But this is the part of a game where a defensive lineman, this is a defensive lineman's dream. Now you know you don't have to worry about the run. You can just pin your ears back, line up, and go after the quarterback from this point on. As a defensive end, a 5 technique, 3 technique, nose tackle, this is the part of the game that you love.
Johnson from his own 26-yard line. Throw and catch incomplete, tried a one-arm grab, but that one went awry.
And Johnson, once again, is trying to throw underneath. You've got to go over the top at some point. I know Tuskegee is going to back up and play a prevent defense, but you've got to make that decision now and say, all right, we're going to have to take a shot.
Second and 10. Has some time. He fumbles the football on his own leg.
Johnson fumbles. Recovers.
I've heard of ghosts of Christmas past, but that was the ghost of football's last.
Under a minute remaining. Fans, we remind you,
and that's a tough break because the clock's going to continue to run. We're under a minute to go, and there's no real sense of urgency or to try to get a play called and get things running. They've wasted now 15 seconds.
Third and long, and now he goes down with the sack, and that may be the exclamation point for this defense. Nice play. Big sack by number 12, Vladimir Gray. This defense has hit Johnson any which way but loose, intercepted passes, caused fumbles. You name it, they've done it with less than 12 seconds left.
Tuskegee University.
They're going to try for one more play. And now a flag has been thrown because they did raise the ball without trying to play. And Johnson's trying to say, what was the play?
Congratulations.
And at the end of an offensive penalty by rule, the game is over.
In the 81st Annual Tuskegee Morehouse Classic.
And once again, Tuskegee remains undefeated, and Coach Willie Slater walks away with another victory, improves to 6-0 for Morehouse. They fall to 2-4. 28-19 is your score. You see the two coaches shaking hands. Two teams headed in two different directions. And Eric, for Tuskegee and their faithful, seems like they have some room to grow.
They do. I'm still impressed with most of the plays so far for Tuskegee. They've had some spurts. You've seen some spurts of greatness. You've seen some difficulties. But it was more this Maroon Tiger defense that impressed me today.
81st Annual Tuskegee Morehouse Classic final score, 28-19. Thank you for watching the SIAC football right here on Aspire. The SIAC, we play hard. Thank you for watching. Thank you for enjoying our time here in Columbus, Georgia. See you down the road.